you go. There you go.
Okay. Okay, I'd like to welcome to the meeting Wednesday, November 15th, 2023. And we're starting at 6:32. And take the roll call first, please.
Tom Alberti is excused. Karen Robinson,
Here.
Laurie Millette,
Here.
Chuck Fowler,
Here.
Richard Anthony,
Here.
Tim Moore,
Here.
Bill Coy,
Here.
and Victoria Healy.
Here.
What's that?
And I guess I have to appoint Richard for Tom, place of Tom. That, and then we have the minutes.
All right, I'll make a motion to accept the minutes
Second?
from October 18th.
Yep.
I'll second.
Okay, everybody in favor?
I abstain.
Oh, that's right. Okay. All right, anybody else? No? Okay. So did we all say? Yeah.
Well, you just gonna say
We're all in
Yeah,
favor?
we're all in favor. Okay, sorry.
It just happened. Do we vote yet?
We're voting.
They just say all those in favor.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 5-0-0.
Okay,
And
5-0-0.
Tim is abstaining.
Oh,
Yeah, you abstain.
I'm not voting. though.
Oh, you're not voting. Sorry, Tim.
I've been practicing all week to say abstain. Too.
Don't steal that away from them.
Sorry about Sorry about
Crushing his hopes and dreams.
Oh, my God. Okay. So welcome to the meeting, and I guess we've got number one on the list here.
Yeah, you just have to read it.
Yep. Okay. glasses. Okay, this is BP 2312, the completeness of an application from J&R Realty Trust, Jeffrey Raymond, TR, for a proposed trade business site plan. Plan proposes to raise the existing residential structure and build a new two-story, 1,120 square feet office building within the existing footprint. The plan further proposes a 1.5-story, 3,400 square feet, 4-unit trade business building with associated parking, drainage, lighting, and landscaping. Property is located at 190 Plastow Road, tax map 44, lot 2, in the C3 zoning district. The applicant is the property owner on record. If the application is found to be complete, the planning board may proceed to public hearing. Welcome.
Madam Chair, members of the board staff, good evening. Charlie Zilch from SCC and Associates, here on behalf of the owner, Jeffrey Raymond of J&R Realty Trust for a site plan proposal of 190 Plastow Road. Everybody have copies of plans, I would assume, in the
We got to
application.
accept it first,
You do,
right?
you need to
Yeah,
accept
we have
this
to accept
completely.
it first.
All right, I'll move to accept the site plan application from J&R Realty Trust, Jeffrey Raymond, TR, for trade business use at 190 Plastow Road, tax map 44, lot 2, as noted in the legal notice for planning board matter number 23-12 as complete.
I second it.
Can we have discussion on that?
Right. Yeah, discussion on it, please.
On our packet that we got from the information from Keach, it said that we were going to get a copy of the Supreme Court's opinion, and we don't have that in our packet.
Okay,
We haven't read anything about it. We have
you
no
haven't,
idea.
okay, well, I could always supply that.
But how are we supposed to, when we haven't seen the opinion of the court?
Okay, it wasn't requested of me to supply it for the planning board. I didn't realize there was a request for that Supreme Court decision. I do cite it on the plan. I have the case number on the plan, so it is, available. You could look it up, or I can get you copies of it. But it wasn't requested of me, so this is new to me.
Because it was all on the things that Keach wanted. It was one of the bullet points. If I can find which paper it is.
I
just had it too.
It was a letter, October 10th, 2023.
Yeah, do you have it?
That's
Yeah,
right
so can you read off those bullet points?
Yep. A cover letter, letter of intent prepared by the applicant's consultant, right? That list?
Yes.
Yeah. An application for site plan approval with attachments dated September 25th. Construction approval for installation of an individual sewage disposal system. Applications for both NHDOT and Town of Plastow driveway permits. Site plan 10 drawings, April 22nd, 21, and last revised September 11th, 2023. A drainage report dated September 22, 20. A copy of an opinion issued by the New Hampshire Supreme Court, Rockingham number and the number, on July 28, 2023. We did not receive that.
He's saying that he has that. This is what he reviewed. This is
We don't have it. How come we don't have the opinion of the court? I mean, that's important to us.
I submitted, everything that was submitted to planning board was submitted to Keach, the exact same package. So it's unfortunate somehow that you don't have it. He had it, he reviewed it.
And I know it has to be put on the plan, right?
Yeah, and then we did add a note to the plan citing that case number.
Well, I read all of his opinions, but it didn't say anything about the opinion of the court. As I read this over.
Summary. Emails.
Well,
Well, what would you like to do at this point? Would you like me to go through the presentation and then,
Well, if we don't accept it, we can't go through the presentation, right?
Right.
I know, I'm willing to accept it as complete, so we can hear the presentation.
And then what? Continue it?
If we had to, right?
right, if we have to continue it, then we're going to have to continue it.
So we'll accept it as complete and then continue it?
or if everything else is completed, you could always condition approval based upon receipt of the actual Supreme Court decision.
I don't know if this board would conditionally approve it without reading that opinion.
Sure.
Right.
And if, and
That's
absolutely,
a
I mean,
big-
that's your prerogative.
That's a big information piece right
Sure.
there, considering that's why you're back in front of us.
Yes.
Because
Right,
Right.
it went to court, so now here you are again.
Okay.
So I think that's
No,
something.
I can respect that.
Okay.
If you wanted to
Okay.
continue it until you had an opportunity to read
I
that, that's
I
fine.
would, I don't know how the rest of the board feels, but I
I'll
would be,
ask.
I would be willing to accept it as complete and then continue it until we get the opinion.
Okay.
So then we have time to digest it.
That's fine.
I mean, just because I'm a bit of a junkie or whatever, I did read the opinion. I went out, to the Supreme Court site and got it. But I agree that everyone else should probably have that information in front of them and to sort of digest it.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
didn't
like I
hear it.
said. Okay.
And that was separate from the application. It's just pulled it down.
Okay.
Okay. I think we all should have gotten it. I don't know why we didn't. Even in our last minute folder, how they always stick things in the last minute, we could have gotten it then. It should have been in there. Okay, so let's first say, take a vote.
So
on
Bill made
completing.
Bill
Yeah.
made the motion.
Right, okay. Anybody second it?
Yeah, Richard did.
I second it.
You seconded it, Richard. Okay, all right, so all in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Okay, I'll have it.
So now if we could continue it, Karen.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So now you
Yes.
can open up the hearing.
All right, so do I have to read that again?
No. Once is enough.
Okay, once is enough. All right, so, all right, you'd like a presentation, please?
Sure. So I think everybody on this board was here at the time. If not, perhaps you weren't, Chuck. Okay, so let me just kind of take a quick run through. I won't go into great detail. I think everybody's fairly familiar with the plan. It's been around a bit. But just for your information, this is a resubmittal of an application that had been previously submitted and was under review twice. It was here twice before this board, and then both times it was subsequently withdrawn. And at issue is basically the owner's desire to have J&R Gutters, Inc., which is a siding and roofing business, is the main tenant on the site. They consider their business, or they deem it a trade business under the town of Plastow's definition. The town's position is that the business should be considered a contractor's storage yard. So as a trade business, the use is allowed. As a contractor storage yard, the use would not be allowed in this particular zone. So ultimately, the argument was brought before the New Hampshire Supreme Court after it had gone through the Zoning Board of Adjustment, and a ruling in favor of the applicant owner was made, allowing this application to proceed now. So they've been deemed as a trade business, which is allowed in this zone. So as it stands, and as it was previously presented, this is an existing and was used as a residentially utilized site within the Commercial 3 zone. Currently, the site supports a single-family dwelling that's been long vacant, supported by access from both Route 125 and Old County Road. If you take a look at sheet 3, kind of shows you the overall lot layout here. So the lot itself is 1.1 acres in size and contains approximately 271 feet of frontage on Route 125 and approximately 100 feet of frontage on Old County Road. The intent of the application, as before, is to convert the site from the residential use to a commercial use. The plan is to raise the existing dwelling and construct a 2-story, 1,120 square foot office building within the existing footprint. And right behind that, attached to this footprint, the proposed office space, behind the proposed office space, there'll be a 1.5-story, 3,400 square foot, 4-unit trade business building. The office space will be occupied by J&R Gutters, Inc., not only for the office, but for the not only for the office use, but for a showcase area for their products. The trade business building will be supportive of J&R Gutters in its entirety, or they may rent out units to other trade businesses meeting the town's Plastow definition for that. So the plan will allow for each business to have approximately 4 employees in each unit, 2 office and 2 trade business workers, and it provides for adequate parking for all of that. We have the access is going to remain in the same 2 points as currently exist. The driveway from Route 125 will be the main access with right turn in and out, and the driveway at Old County Road will be right exit only. Both entrances have been provided with aprons as constructed during the highway reconstruction. So those are viable accesses. So the access, maneuvering, and parking areas have been decreased from the original designs, and any outside storage areas have been removed. So one of the restrictions of this zone is there's no outside storage. We paid attention to that. We had containers in the first layout. We had storage areas with extra pavement. That's all been removed. We knocked that down quite a bit. Stormwater, quite simple with this. It's going to flow from, we're going to pick up all the impervious areas. They'll be collected by a series of structures located within the parking area and directed to an infiltration basin in the southwest corner of the site. I think everybody can see where that is. We'll capture pretty much everything with closed drainage and bring it over there. What we don't capture, we'll grab with infiltration trenches on the outskirts of some of the paved areas. So we couldn't get it to flow that direction. We were able to capture it with infiltration trenches. So the site coverage for this site is at 40% of impervious coverage. 75% is allowed. We knocked that down another 8 or 9% from the original application. So there's only 2 state permits required for this. One is for the septic system design. That's been granted. We updated it and it's current. And the other one is for the DOT driveway permit application at 125. That has been conditionally granted. We're posting a bond right now. They're looking for a $5,000 guarantee bond on that. And we're in the process of putting that together. As soon as that's submitted, and they'll issue the permit. The driveway on Old County Road, that's under the jurisdiction of the town. We do have the driveway permit from the road agent on that. There's no known waivers with this application, no known variances at this point. We have sign off from Keach Nordstrom, your review engineer, and I believe we got a pretty clean report from planning board staff as well. So, like I said, when we were in here last time, the board did ask for several things to make this site more of a trade business site. As you may remember, we had, like I said, I was talking about some of those storage areas. We eliminated quite a bit of that. There was a good-sized turnaround area and storage area that was going to be located on the backside of the 4-unit trade business building. We eliminated all of that. We tightened up the pavement. We got rid of the containers, those sort of things. We added additional landscaping as the board had requested when we were here last time. We made the access out to Old County Road. That was going to be right and left turn out. The board had asked us to make it just right turn out, so it goes directly to 125, not down Old County Road. And we complied with that as well. So made quite a few changes to keep this as a trade business site in kind of in respect to what you had asked for. So I think we've done a pretty good job with it. And like I said, we've had peer review is pretty much all set. It's a 10-page plan set, very comprehensive. We have everything in there, building elevations, all the drainage, erosion control, cross sections and details. There's lighting plans in there. Also, we have, I think the septic design has been added to it as well, and we have the entrance information. So any questions at this point?
I guess there's one. I have the old picture, the one that you did originally,
Yes.
and I still consider that, and that was our argument, more of a warehouse look. That is definitely, with the 4 bays, now you have 3 instead of 4, attached to the house. What I'm wondering is why that is still the front, still considered part of the building and not a warehouse type building, because it really is still, and it still looks like it.
Okay, so I did talk to the property owner about that. He assures me that the office building is going to look very nice. It'll be, nicely trimmed, sided, all that sort of thing.
Okay. Yep.
And then the facade of the trade business building, the 4-unit building, the one that you'll be able to see coming down 125.
Yep.
There is going to be a fairly decent buffer along the front. So once that's established, that'll also, hide that a little bit. But he also said that he could add some interest to that as well, soften the look so it doesn't look quite as commercial. But as far as the southerly side and the westerly side, that's going to be basically hidden from view. That'll probably just look like any other commercial building. But he did say that he could put an effort into making the front of that building that you will be able to see from 125 and Old County Road to soften the effect, to make it look more like, or less like a commercial building and more like a professional building. So we can do that. I know there's nothing in the site plan regulations that kind of dictate that, but it is something he's willing to do.
Well, it was just that warehouse look, there is no warehouse allowed in 3.
It's a trade business building.
Yeah, so
Correct.
right,
Yep.
that's the name you call it now.
Yeah, and
right.
so with the trade
It's
business,
still the same
they,
building.
with no outside storage, so everything needs to be stored
Now,
inside.
that's
So
the
there is
other
a need
question.
for the bay doors, and
Right.
it's difficult to completely
Why
eliminate
do
the
they
commercial
need
look to it.
now? Right,
Right.
I guess that's what I was
Yeah, that's
asking.
the big thing, is gonna be no
Yeah.
heavy equipment stored outside.
Yes, I want to
or
make
Right.
sure the big, contract yard, that's different.
Right,
you
and
know,
that's
all that's
right.
gone.
And that's why with the trade business now, so you're not gonna have any of that now.
Right.
Right.
I get the no contract yard. I'm just worried still about the front of that facing front, and that is going to be what's appearing on the 125 and C3. And, how many more are we going to allow in there like that? And that's what's going to happen once one goes in. So I still think it is not meeting the restrictions for C3. I still think it's a warehouse type building. That's all. And I don't see a change. You know what I thought was going to happen? I thought he was going to discuss about putting a showroom, with all the objects that he sells.
Yes.
And if he had done that attached to the house, that would have been more retail, the look that we're looking for on C3. then if there's any bays, that would be in the back, so it would not be showing in the front as a warehouse building.
Yeah,
What I thought was going to happen.
one of the challenges with the site, it's an L-shaped piece of property. The
Right.
majority of frontage is on 125. And so when you apply all your buffers and setbacks and such, there really is one only layout that's logical here for ability to get in, have some maneuvering space, that sort of thing. And it's the way it's laid it out right now. So we did, I remember when we initially looked at this, we tried a couple of different layouts, and nothing seemed to really work very well with this site as far as maneuvering, having areas to get in and out of the trade business building. So this is the most efficient as far as that's concerned. Granted, it may not be the most attractive view of it, but he does have a roofing and siding business. I'm sure he can add some interest to the front of that building and soften the impact.
Okay, I guess I'm just trying to say to all of us what we're going to put down as a trading business. Are there going to be more things we should be adding to that or what? Because this could just continue to go right down all C3 now. Same thing. You know, what are we going to say? It's trading business. I just think it's not restricted enough. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Or does it need to be?
I mean, obviously, it's a trade business because that's what the Supreme Court ruled, right?
Right, okay,
And so those are the rules we got to live under.
right.
You know, whatever zoning says.
And the zoning, I'm saying, does it make enough difference between warehouse and trade building?
Well, it's really not a warehouse because they're not storing, well, we know they're not storing anything outside.
No, not outside, that's
Right,
contract
right, but
yard.
it's inside, but it's going to be what,
Yeah.
4 separate buildings, right? And there's only going to
It's
be,
going to be one long building, but it has all the bays in it.
right.
That, to me, is a warehouse, maybe not to
But-
you.
No, I mean, that's where, someone could go in, say it's an electrical company, they rent it out, they grab whatever they need for the day, and out the door they go, and wherever they go for their business, whether it's residential, commercial.
Right, but right in the
So you're gonna
front,
have, but
next
you're
to
gonna
the
have to
building.
have doors, like a garage, to go up.
Right,
so
oh,
they can
no,
pull in.
I'm not against the building itself, it's being in the front, right next to the house. I mean, that to me is, you're looking at a warehouse house. That was my point from the very beginning. I thought they were going to change that, have that this way, I guess, and then have a nice showroom or something like that, which would be very good for the business that way, but, so, okay, but you explained that was hard to do.
Yeah, that's the thing, if you got a piece of property, you can only, you
Yep,
gotta work
right.
with the property, the lay of the land. I know right now it's not an attractive lot right now.
Okay, any other?
Are there any tenants or prospective tenants that are already lined up saying that, we want to?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
No, this kind of disappeared from public view for quite a while when it went through the court process.
Okay.
And so they haven't really put anything out there as far as potential tenants.
And I'm just trying to envision, is there anything in the way of, in the way of, I know we talked about like the facade of the trade building in the back, to soften that image, but in the way of landscaping or anything like that, is there anything that,
This is right.
that's thought about to
Yeah,
try to
well,
ameliorate that?
we are going to have a fair amount of landscaping around this, particularly around the residential home that abuts on Old County Road. Let me get to that one particular sheet.
Yeah, it's on.
That would be page 5 of the plan set.
Yep, sheet 5. Yep.
Okay.
I mean, I just went, why does the 4 bays have to be right in the front? I don't get it.
So the office building's the one that's on 125.
Correct.
Yes, and that's
Right.
fine. I have no different
Right,
than
so
that,
that's,
landscaping
so
was
that's
already
on
done.
125, and then those 4 buildings would be behind that, if I'm looking at it right.
Yes. So, and
Harder
again,
to see those because they're gonna be back behind the office building.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about, the landscaping buffering.
You
that
see what
Yes,
I'm-
the landscaping buffer.
Right, you
Okay.
get the landscape,
Yep.
buffer. You see where
Talk
the
about that a
building
little
is?
Yep.
Yes.
You see like the thinner one right off 125 there? That's
Okay,
the office
yep.
building.
Okay,
Behind that, the 4 bays, those are
They're
the 4
behind.
bays. They're behind it.
okay.
So you're not gonna,
Laser.
I'm not gonna say you're not totally gonna see it from 125,
No, no,
but
I
it's
know,
gonna be
I
hidden
know.
back a little bit. It's not right on 125.
And there will be some kind of softening or the landscaping there too.
Right, because you can see where the trees are gonna go.
Yeah, right, exactly. That's all yeah, okay, I understand now. Yep,
And I think that's about as best they can do from what I can
yeah,
see.
on that
Right.
lot.
I mean, he does, like I said, he has his business is siding
Yes,
and roofing. And there's all different kinds of bay doors you can put in that look like barn doors, things like that. You
Yep.
can do different kinds of architectural shingles and things like that
Yep.
to make it look more, less commercial and more for what you're looking for.
less industry and
Yes.
more,
Less industrial, I guess, is the.
Less industrial.
less
Now,
industrial.
the trees in this buffering that you've listed, where you say 60% evergreen tree, 15-foot,
Yes.
and now, is that not what are they going to be 15-foot ones put in? Or is it something that's
I think that's the spacing,
supposed to grow?
isn't it?
Oh,
That's the spacing.
Spacing requirement.
Yeah, between them.
well, that's kind of challenging my.
Yeah, no, if the landscaping, what they say they're doing here is.
Well, I
is
think that's
very
what, 12-foot high?
Right, so I think with the landscaping and you got the office building there, and
Right,
then
which he is
everything's
gonna
behind, then
improve.
everything's behind it.
Yeah, okay. And there is no big, heavy equipment anywhere.
One of the notes on the cover sheet is that, I think you probably, and I'll read it to you, it is incredibly simple, but it says it all. Outside storage of materials is not permitted on this site.
Right.
Right, okay.
It's pretty solid.
And what's the setback on this? Is this 50 feet, the setback?
So also on that cover sheet, that lists the setbacks. So for building setback, it's 50 feet from the front.
Because we changed that,
Changed to 80, right?
yeah.
Okay, and it says 35 side and rear when abutting commercial uses or 50 feet when abutting residential uses.
But we changed that was done in what, 2021?
21, 22.
Yeah.
Yep,
It's an 80-foot setback from 125?
yeah, I have that on C3.
I can pull it up.
Okay, I brought that with me. Checklist.
Because I know the existing building footprint, the old residential home, that's exempt from the setback requirement. They can rebuild that in place.
Okay, commercial 3.
Commercial 3, lot size is greater than 120,000 square feet, and or the building size is greater than 10,000 square feet. It's 80. But in commercial 3, for all other C3 lots, it's 50.
So we're at 51,000 square feet. So the 50 feet would be correct then.
Okay,
Yep.
So it's
Thank you.
50 feet? Oh, okay.
And that we do comply with.
Okay, yep.
I knew we had made some kind of change,
No, there
though.
was a change, but it was
What,
50.
does it have the date on it when we did that?
Last year. It's from last
2022?
season.
Yeah, 22 was what the last.
Well,
Okay.
technically 23.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else?
I have a question. Are they gonna tie into municipal water?
They may. Right now, they have an existing well that still tests, and they can use that. So there is the potential to tie into municipal water. Don't necessarily need it in this case. This is not a high water demand, this site. So it really doesn't, there's not a huge advantage to them to do it, but they may.
And where's the well located?
It's up near the corner of 125 in Old County. You go to sheet 3 again, you can see it fairly clearly on there.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. I'm glad they did that right turn only.
Yeah, I think it makes sense.
That was
Yep.
definite, yeah.
Yeah, District 6 was on board with that as well.
Yeah.
They've really met everything we were kind of looking for, right? A lot of our concerns that we had have been
Yep.
addressed.
Are there any other comments from anybody else? Questions?
No, I mean, depends what the board wants to do, but I'd be fine with doing, the approval under conditions. That, you just provide it with a copy of it. It's up to the rest of the board.
You can still wait, because if you want the judges, you still want that opinion,
Yes,
then we can still do on continuance for that reason, or just that. it
yeah,
must
that's
be-
why we're asking for it to be continued.
Right. Just how everybody feels.
So everyone, you just want to see a copy of the judgment from the judge, right? That's all you need.
Yeah, I want to read what their opinion was and
But outside of that.
their
after-
reasoning. No, everything else seems fine.
Okay, so that's really the only piece. I just want to make sure that, Charlie goes away and then we say no
Oh,
one
yeah,
more
no,
thing.
everything is,
No, I
what
think,
you said is good.
I think he,
does it.
I think he understood that.
So really, aside from that, about the only missing thing right now is although it's coming, is the DOT permit. We don't have it in
Right,
hand,
we don't have
waiting
that
for the
yet.
bond on that, yeah. And then we should be all set.
We actually need that too. So how do you want to do this? How do we want to
We
continue it?
continue it to the next public hearing date.
Want to take a vote on that?
Say it. We just got to say what the date is.
The 20th.
Yeah, 20th. No, they've definitely made some good changes.
Yeah, that's as well as you can get there.
I think the buffering actually, it's going along Old County. I mean, I think that's, at least on this page, it looks like it's going to be.
Well, I'm more
It'll
concerned
look
about.
nicer than it is right now.
that's for sure.
And I think that's the way I tend to kind of look at some of these things.
But they're putting trees out front.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're out
what I
front.
said, the landscaping, they've filled it in.
Yeah, there'll be landscaping on the south side where there's a gap. And like I said, around the abutting property,
Yep.
there'll be a pretty substantial buffer around him. And then you'll have plantings all along 125.
Is there anybody in the audience that was,
Just ask if anyone wants to talk to it.
yep, anybody want to talk on this particular one? Okay, could you step up to the microphone over there, please? Thank you.
Let's pull one of these chairs around here for you.
Name's Victor McKinney, I live at 28 Old County Road, and I live in the house that abuts the property, two sides. My main concerns that I have, one, the buffer zone. You had mentioned 15-foot pine trees or something like that. That would be good, especially on the back view of my house at the larger building in the back. It would probably take a 15-foot evergreen
To really
to
cover.
block it out. So I'd really like, I don't have any problem with this project, but I really would like to see a good buffer. This whole corner used to be all residential homes.
Right.
We've been put into this
Yep.
thing where they took the neighbor's house. I'll give you a little history. Across the street from me, I've been there almost 45 years. Across the street was a pine forest. Now it's a tractor factory. Agway used to be my Episcopal church that we used to go to. They burnt that down, put
I've been here
Agway
in
in.
town 57 years, so.
The other corner used to be a nice little restaurant that closed down stopped serving at 9, Sawyer's Restaurant.
So it's.
Okay, and
I
so at
remember.
any rate, that's all just one business on every corner. I think that trying to put 4 businesses plus however many is going in the front building, if it's an office building, where they're going to have 4, maybe 6 different offices and businesses in there. So overall, I think that they're trying to do a little bit too much. It's either get the park in there, but
Yeah.
these 4 businesses that are going in there, they're going to have vehicles.
You're
You
right.
didn't want any big vehicles. What are those businesses going to have? We
Well,
don't
They're going to
know.
have to follow the
They
same
might
rules.
have all kinds of big vehicles to park in there if they get approved. So that's just one of the items. And then the other most important thing to me is the hours of operation. Okay? MB Tractor opens at 7:30, down at 5:30. We have peace and quiet for the night. Agway, same thing, 7 to 5 or to 6.
Yep.
They close. The real estate lady across the street, she doesn't make any noise anyway. It's an apartment house. That's the old liquor store, if
Right,
any
the
of you
liquor store was.
might remember, okay? And so it seems like, at first I thought they were just going to put like his business in there, And that's fine. It's one business. Do whatever you want to do. But sticking 4 businesses in the back, I don't know how many in the front, I just think it's a little bit too much. But I'm not really totally against it, but I just think it really is a bit much there. So it's just the border. I really like to see an evergreen border.
Yep.
That will break down some of the sound too,
Right.
and then the hours of operation. Other than that, go for it.
And Charlie, the hours of operation are on there,
Yeah.
right?
They are.
The
6 to
hours
6.
operation.
I don't
Monday to
know what-
6. It says 6 to 6, Monday through Saturday.
6 to
Correct.
6, Monday through Saturday. And are the other businesses, are they all going to apply to the,
They have to,
comply
John,
to
right?
They
that?
That's
have to
the-
apply to the,
Okay,
our rules anyway. Right.
okay. That's
When each
reasonable.
one comes, where they're all going to have to have a plan, and we have to either okay them too.
I also thought that,
I don't think so.
No.
No, once we approve this,
Any 4 businesses can go in
we're
there
not
without
gonna,
us.
we're not gonna see who these businesses are.
I don't think that's right.
Well, any 4 trade business.
Right, trade
so it could be a
They have to
crane
stick to
business
the
and they
same.
could bring in big cranes or something.
Well, they can't,
That's what they can't do.
store them there.
Okay,
There's no big heavy
No
equipment,
storage
correct, Joe?
whatsoever for that.
okay.
You can't store them there.
Right.
And let's say if a concrete cutting business goes in there, they're not going to cut concrete, stuff like that? Real noisy businesses,
The concrete cutting business doesn't cut concrete inside a building. They do
Well, they
off-site
might
buildings.
have a
It's not gonna-
product that they
They're
need
not gonna
to-
bring the
They
concrete.
might have a product that they need to cut before they bring it out to the job. There's so many unknown things that
Right,
could
we don't
happen,
know
all right?
who
That's all.
businesses are going
It's
to
like
be, you're
the
right.
unknown thing.
Right.
You have your knowns and your unknowns, okay?
Well, I would think that any proposed business or possible tenant would have to apply for a building permit, and also there was going to be a zoning determination whether or not the business complies with or is compliant as a trade business, isn't it?
I mean, do they have to go to the ZBA or someplace they must have to go for a permit?
I believe it's
something.
just basically through the building inspector.
Yeah, it would be through the building inspector,
Right.
Yeah, it doesn't come back to us.
but it's not a contractor's yard, so
And it can't be a warehouse.
Just a question with respect to the on-site parking, right? So, I mean, you have the parking spaces here that you indicate along 125,
Yes.
and then you have the ones that are in front of the office portion of the two structures here. Now, if a trade business comes in and they have, let's say, you know, a couple vans or something like that, are they going to, where would they be parked? I mean, are they going to be constrained to this parking area over here?
You know, the original plan, I think we had kind of
So many
dedicated some of the
spaces.
space for
Thank
the
you.
commercial vehicles were going to be located, and I think we still kept that. Yeah, we did. So we have the commercial vehicles are going to be located on the backside, and then customer and employee spaces are in the front, closer to 125. That was one of the things that we had talked about with this board, and I had added to the plan. So they wanted the commercial spaces in the back,
In the back.
right? And so that's what we've added to this plan.
All right, and so they would be constrained to those specific areas where they're parking. You just
And the-
couldn't use available space and just
Right.
put them.
And the parking space is a typical 9 by 18 space.
Right.
So it's not going to support anything larger than, you know, a small
And a
panel truck,
van or
a commercial truck.
So there
like
wouldn't
that.
be any like large, you know, to that point, let's say, you know,
There
large
shouldn't
like
be
tractor
anything.
trailers or something
Right,
like that.
right.
that
It's
you
not
would-
designed for that at all.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so it sort of systematically eliminates or precludes those types of concerns of like just having random vehicles parked all over the place.
Correct.
Okay.
And he has no idea about any businesses that are even looking now.
Well, like I said at the onset here, they may occupy the entire building themselves.
Oh,
But
okay.
there is, you know, there's 4 individual bays.
Right.
They have the opportunity to rent out or find a tenant for, you know, 1 bay or 2 bays or whatever they
So it
want.
could just be a rent out.
Yeah. But again, they'll have to go through and get a building permit.
Well, as long as they're definitely going to stick with that landscaping. But like he said, you know, that definitely is, that was definitely not included in the first plan at all. So that's
Bless
good.
you.
God bless you.
Now, the landscaping along the buffering between, on the backside, between the residential property.
Residential property.
Now, I can't see what that is.
Supposed to be evergreens that are,
Is it evergreens?
Yeah, there's a mix. It's basically straight out of the zoning
long as they're
requirement.
high.
That's the site plan requirement. So it's 40% deciduous and then 60% evergreen. And then this is right out of your site plan regulations, how to space them and the sizes, all that. And so, you know, once we changed this plan, we were able to back off some of the pavement and add a little bit more landscaping here.
Mhm.
So this was a little bit more restricted before
yes.
due to the parking and some of the storage area. So once we moved that back, we were able to open up
Put in
this
all of it.
landscaping a little bit more and give Mr. McKinney a better buffer.
So you want to still continue it?
I think what Bill said, right? I mean, just, you know, we want to have a copy of that, you know, decision just so we can look at it. But, you know, apart from
really-
that,
that's the only thing you
That's the
want to
only
see,
thing.
right?
yeah.
Other than that, I'm good with everything else. However everyone feels, I'm good, whatever everybody wants to do.
And to arise at the number of 4 businesses, was there a reason for that? You know, why not just a couple or 3, but he's going to go for 4 businesses that he thinks he's going to rent out to?
Well, during construction, they could always limit it to just 2 bays if they wanted to. We wanted to show, for that footprint, that's a reasonable amount of bays that you could have. within that size.
Right.
Anything more than that would be too restrictive. It wouldn't
Right.
really work well. So that's really how we portioned it out. But if they get into it and decide that they only want to have 2 bays here, then they can do 2 bays.
Or they could rent out 2, use 2 themselves.
Correct.
That's an option.
Well,
That's possible too.
that's why I was wondering if they could cut them down.
Still haven't said how many offices there are gonna be, separate offices. There's 4 to 6 in there, the parking that they have allotted isn't gonna be enough parking. I did a little math.
Yeah, no, I didn't realize how many offices were going to be in the main building.
So the main building is just for J&R Gutters. That would be their office building. The trade businesses,
Yep.
they may have maybe like a loft business, office or something like that, and the office could be in the back of the bay. So that'll be separate from,
They'll still be using the bay only.
correct.
Any other comments?
Could you please come to the microphone?
Yep. I know.
This is kind of new to me. I know what he's talking about. And my name is Fran LaChance, and I live at Crossridge Estates. And I want to know why we have to build in a residential area. There's a thought. Why does a business have to go in residential? I mean, I might be naive.
I think the main purpose, first of all, was what I did was C3 to make it different from C1 because there is residential allowed in C3. That is allowed to continue. It's not supposed to be all businesses. That's not what I wanted, a continuation of C1 up to C3.
My concern is that once they start this, it's just going to proliferate.
This is what I'm afraid of.
Yeah. So
This is just what I tried to prevent.
am I for this? No. So no. And Lewis Builders is going to do the building. Why am I seeing their?
Oh, no, that's the next one.
Oh, yeah, that's the next
That's
one.
sorry.
That's the next one. This
Oh,
one's
that's the
di-
next one. Was that the one you were talking about,
Yeah.
the residents in there?
Yeah, that's
Oh,
what.
okay.
Yeah, no, that's different than this one.
Yeah, and but with this, I still say no. So there it is. Right. So no on both parts.
Just say
And-
no.
Yeah, and I just want to say one thing. I don't know anybody's here from Lewis Builders, but those people have monopolized building in every single town around us. That's enough. In healthcare, they don't let Partners Healthcare take over certain sections in certain towns in Boston because it's called a monopoly. They're all over the place. It's like a spider web. So with these people, enough. Stop building. You got enough money. You're done. Let other people who want to come in, that's my story and I'm sticking with it. So I don't want any building anywhere from
Thank you.
anybody in my house.
That's what the survey said.
Was there anyone else on this one?
I'm an old lady.
Nope, that's okay. Anybody else on this one, particular one? Any more? Sure. I guess the only problem I have is that there's going to be 4 offices that are going to be allowed, and 4 businesses.
No, he said the office is just going to be J&R
No,
out
but I
front.
meant 4 more
Oh.
businesses could go in there. I'm just very concerned, there's no restrictions, there's no rules, there's no nothing. I mean, anything can really go in there,
Well, as J&R is the anchor of the site,
right?
meaning they're going to occupy the office building, they'll obviously occupy at least one of the bays. So the very most you'd ever see in there is maybe 3. But most likely, they're going to occupy the whole thing.
That's fine with me, if we could be assured of that. I'd rather be happy with that one than know what's going to come in. You don't know.
Is it going to be a metal building?
The,
Yeah, is
not
it
the
gonna
front
look like
building, no,
this?
the office building is going to be,
This is
that's
the
not
one
a
with the
metal
bays.
building. That is.
Yep.
The bays will be.
That's what it's going to look like?
But from 125, you're not going to see those, you won't see those
I know,
doors.
I understand that, but Yes.
It's gonna be vinyl siding with metal roofing. It says on the house, on the office part is gonna be metal, there's gonna be metal roofing with vinyl siding. It says vinyl siding, metal roofing. I mean, my house is vinyl siding, metal roofing.
No, that's okay.
No, we're not arguing that.
But somebody asked if it was gonna be a metal building. It's not. Looks like it's being vinyl and metal.
Is there any kind of storage that's going to be here, like chemicals, things like that?
We don't know the business.
Would you like me to read the permitted uses in C3 for the record?
That would be good,
Oh, yeah, I know those by heart.
just for everyone else.
So, absolutely prohibited uses, contractor's yard, permitted uses, retail business, wholesale business, personal service business, business office, professional office, bank, restaurant, funeral establishment, commercial, recreation, private/service club, publishing, a vehicular brokerage office, drive-through restaurants, produce stand, essential services, theaters, trade business, small industry. So the ability for something to go into these is quite narrow. They have to fall within trade business or small industry, because I don't see anyone putting a produce stand in there.
The warehouse
know.
is not included, is also included, so not permitted. Warehouse and contract yard was supposed to be written on there, and they said, oh, if it's not on there, then you don't have to worry about it. That's what I was told. So I'm gonna make sure it's on there this time. Okay, so what do we want to do?
We're going to continue.
Okay,
You just say what day you continue it to, and that covers everything.
Yep, the date.
yep, we're gonna continue it to December 20th?
Can I make a recommendation?
Yes.
Could we see if the property owner is willing to come in and maybe answer some of these questions about what? Oh, hi.
Oh. Okay.
Well,
I'm not the property owner, I represent the
oh, okay.
owns the property.
Wonderful.
Separate entity. So
Okay.
the gutter business, we extrude, go to people's house and make gutter.
Should probably come up to a microphone.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Could you just come up to the microphone so we can get good minutes?
Thank you.
You want me right here?
Yeah, right there.
Okay. So, John Raymond. So, we extrude gutters, siding, windows. We make a lot of different products and buy it and install it. Okay, the space is supposed to be taken over mostly by the company, if we can use each space. But if things get tight, we'll rent out a bay to an electrician maybe, or maybe an air conditioning refrigeration guy. Small guys, electricians are 2 or 3 guys. We're not hiring a big company to go in that little
Contractors.
space.
So you're thinking more they'd go in, pick up their supplies for the
They'll
day,
pick up
and
the
out the door they
supplies and go
go.
out for the day.
Right.
Somebody small, okay? We want to use most of the property for what we do. We also own another property around the corner, separate entity, separate company. So we also have one on 213 Main Street that we bought from Rick Paul a long time ago, which was a nightmare for the city. We cleaned it up. And then you have something about a construction yard. We want to build a state-of-the-art building here. We're going to side it with the most expensive products that are out there with stone. It's going to look beautiful. We're going to spend a lot of money here and a big investment on 125, which is commercial. It's not residential.
No, but C3 is now a mixture.
Yeah, it's
Residential
mixture. I
can
get
be
that,
on it
but
now.
we're going to take a site that looks ugly and
Right.
make it beautiful.
Right.
I mean, we're spending a lot of money here, and you guys are like, wow, I don't know if we want it. Oh, it's okay. I can leave it the way it is for my brother, and he won't make no money. I'm okay. We could, we could try to go get 55 and build a big high rise and try to get it passed. New Hampshire needs 80,000 units to build in the next 10 years. So we could go and apply for something different.
Yeah, no, from what you see here, it's.
What here
better
is
than what it looks
beautiful
like
is gonna
now.
make it work. You see
I know,
businesses
I know.
closed on 125. You got Larry's Clam Bud. That old businesses are gone. We go to our client. So, we're roofers, we're siders, we do people's houses, we do commercial work. We have our other place where our other stuff is stored,
Right.
which you don't want to see on 125.
Right.
So, I mean, we're trying to be nice about it, and we're hoping, we already went to Supreme Court, we won. I'm a little confused. I didn't bring my attorney tonight for my brother, but he doesn't want to come because he's a little upset. He's been a local person in Plasto for 30-something years. We didn't think we'd have a problem building a 125, to be honest with you. That's the
Well,
truth.
it's a big change from the first plan you brought
But you
in.
got a condemned building. It looks like crap.
Right, no, I know that. I
So, I
understand
mean,
that.
Progress
This
has
is
to
very
happen.
different from the first time you came in. It was. a
Yeah,
lot
we made a
different.
lot of changes and concessions that you want it to look like a home. You want it to look like a commercial building that doesn't look ugly, like 110 Grill.
Right.
We have the idea to do that. The bays, you're not going to see them because of the first building is 50 feet and then the next building starts.
Right.
If you wanted, we could put a fence there if you had to. We can make concessions for you that are reasonable.
I get it. Yep,
But that's what we do. We go to people and we work on people's buildings.
right.
Yeah, so if the building's 50 feet, and you get the, 50 feet from the street, you're talking 100 feet before that other building even starts.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's gonna look beautiful. It's gonna change the site. And a lot of people are gonna come to us for retail there. A lot of people. So we're hoping that you approve it. If you don't, it's okay. I'll go to Supreme Court again.
No, just to that point, I mean,
Thank you.
I did look at the, the Supreme Court decision.
Yeah.
And, when everyone else does look at it, I mean, the things that have been brought up, I think have been addressed, in terms of, it not being a contractor's yard,
No, I just wish
and
we
not
had
store,
it
and not
before,
storing of
that's all.
equipment outside.
No, I agree,
Um,
because I looked at it too. That's why I'm ready to.
Yeah, I
to-
mean,
to
so,
approve it.
so in that sense, I mean, it's, this is not, it doesn't, when people do look at it, I think it's on point, and it sounds like those things have been addressed. And I look at it this way too, is it going to look better than it does now?
Well, now.
And so, I mean, this looks nice. I like the buffering. It's sort of, will probably look aesthetically pleasing.
That's my main concern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks
So-
pleasing and to the neighbor and.
Yeah, to me, it seems like they've addressed everything, all the concerns we had. I mean, I was like, Richard, I did read it, so that's why I'm fine with it. If you need to see it, then you need to see
I
it.
don't know why we didn't.
Who knows?
Yeah.
So it's either we approve or we continue it, so you can read the decision. I think that's what we're down to.
Yep.
Do we have to take a vote on continuing it?
Yep.
Okay.
To continue it. How many want to continue it?
Do we want to put it on for our next meeting, or do we want it to go to the 20th?
We could make it the next meeting.
Next meeting?
That way they don't have to wait anymore.
Workshop.
That's like 2 weeks,
I
boom,
think
we're done.
that's comfortable.
Yeah, and we'll put you first on.
First
Right.
on, get it done.
Yep.
Hopefully 2 weeks, boom, we're done with it, right?
Yep.
So that's not the 20th.
Okay, so
then.
so what date is that?
Well,
20th.
December 6th, and then there's December 20th, so.
This will be what, December 6th, is that? the
That's
next meeting?
that's the next meeting.
That's our board
Sorry.
meeting, regular
Okay,
meeting.
so that'll be our December 6th.
Because that should be, you'll have a chance to read it then,
Yes.
and there's no other, everything else looks good. You have a
Yes.
chance to read it, and then hopefully
Yep.
that'll be it.
Yep.
And hopefully we'll have our driveway permit and everything will be in hand.
Yeah, and
Yes,
then,
that's another,
and then
good-
So
s-
I think
then do
that's,
it all at once.
yeah, I think that's great.
okay,
Excellent.
no. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much. Appreciate the
Thank you,
time.
John.
Have a good evening.
Thank you for coming in.
Here's a War and Peace.
Right.
That's so good.
Okay. Throwing
Oh,
stuff your way.
you yeah.
You just have to read the next one.
What doesn't
Yeah, I gotta
surprise me.
read the next
I'm
one.
sure there's others that would
You all
be
set?
hit me across the head.
Okay. PB 2313. Completeness of an application from Lewis Builders Development and Company. Attention, Josh Manning, for a two-lot subdivision. Plan proposes to subdivide the parcel at 17 Harriman Road, tax map 50, lot 78, said to be 2,143, oh no, wait a minute.
2 million.
2 million. 143,873 square feet, 49.2 acres of land area, and 315.27 of frontage on Harriman Road into two parcels. Parcel 1 proposed to be 137,857 square feet. That's 3.16 acres of land area and 157.7 of frontage on Harriman Road. Parcel 2 proposed to be 46.5 acres of land area and 157.6 of frontage on Harriman Road. Property owner on record is Gerald E. Holt. Revocable trust, UDT, November 9th, 2022. Gerald E. Holt, PR. If the application is found to be complete, the planning board may immediately conduct the public hearing. Okay,
Good evening.
good evening.
Well, we gotta accept the application as complete before we can
Yep,
do anything. So I move to accept the two-lot subdivision application for the property at 17 Harriman Road, tax map 50, lot 78, and is noted in the legal notice PB number 23-13 as complete.
I'll second.
okay. Any questions, discussion?
So we just have to vote on it.
Yeah, we have to vote on it then. Okay. Yep, for the completeness of the application. Vote,
All in favor?
All in
all in favor?
Aye.
I,
Aye.
Aye. Okay,
Now we can open the hearing.
now we can open it up. Okay,
Good evening. Joshua Manning from Lewis Builders, representing property owner Gerald Holt. And with me this evening is Lynn Zabrowski, Jones and Beach Engineers. As this board might recall, we were in front of you for the same application back in June, at which time an abutter had brought to our attention there was a mishap with a notification from a prior zoning board meeting, for which we had gone to the Housing Appeals Board to overturn the decision. Since that time, we've made reapplication to the Plastow Zoning Board and received a variance for that same matter, confirmatory variance, basically in line with what the Housing Appeals Board had already granted for this. In that notification, all abutters were properly noticed as they were for this meeting. So we're back before you this evening with that same two-lot subdivision application. And pretty straightforward on Harriman Road. As was already read into the record, the size of the lots, the frontage on Harriman Road, I have the plan up here if you have any questions. The lot's getting split right down the middle along the frontage, as the variance outlines and approved. The proposed building area on the new lot are all the different are outlined on this map. That's a better topography plan with the driveway, septic. You should also have a copy of a letter dated October 27th from Steve Keach, your town engineer, as well as a copy of the state subdivision approval, which has also been issued for this property.
The 2 lots.
For the 2 lots. Yep.
But tonight, what you're looking for is just divide them, right?
Correct, that is all. Just dividing it into 2 lots. So one lot will have the, Mr. Holt's existing home, which will remain on its own lot, and then the larger proposed lot of vacant land. Additionally, we had submitted some waivers along with our application that had to do with drainage. And in the town, drainage and soils, and the town's planning department review, there was a comment talking about the waivers, which we interpreted to, at the end of it, say that we didn't need them, so we should withdraw that waiver because it's only 1 lot.
Yep.
So.
Or was it just for the last waiver? Because we can't grant a waiver for a PZO.
Because it's a zoning, right?
Right.
Is waiver number 6,
Right,
compliance with
the
stormwater
other ones are
ordinance.
still in front of us.
Yep.
Waiver 6 that was the one, because we can't do that one.
Yeah, so we had a couple other waivers along with the high-intensity soil mapping, which we did do some high-intensity soil mapping. We proved the lot sizing for the existing house lot, and then we also, of the 45 acres, we did enough high-intensity soil mapping to prove a second house lot. But we didn't do the remainder of the property at this time because it's not being anything planned for right now.
But what's in front of us now, that we're not looking at any houses or anything like that?
You are not.
We're not
Nope.
looking at anything but those 2 lots.
Right,
Just
so
the
it's
2 lots.
basically just to draw the line,
Correct.
really what this is, to draw the line. And anything else has to come before us, anything
It
being
has to be
built or
all done
anything.
over again. Yep, has to come to us. and-
But what if they just, okay, say they put this driveway in, it's going to be 200 and some odd feet, and you put a house in. So if you just put one house in, that doesn't come back before the board. That goes to the building inspector, correct?
That would be correct.
Right,
Yeah,
so,
okay,
right,
so-
for one house, and it has to be a single residence, it can't even be a duplex.
Okay, so then,
That's my understanding.
what if they wanted to put in a second house?
I believe that has to come to us,
That would come to
Yes.
us because then the
Have to
land
come
would
back
be
before we-
subdivided?
right?
Right, it would be a subdivision.
What?
It would be a subdivision now.
Yeah.
You can't do that without coming back to us.
So I know I'm looking at the recommendations.
And also, there has been a lot of history with this property
Yep.
from years
I
ago.
was going to read this.
And one of the main concerns was an easement
Right.
that would go to Canterbury Forest or some type of an emergency access road. And the town is definitely against that.
I have the
and-
minutes from that meeting
And it's
right here.
there's a town-owned property.
They do not want an excess road built in the future
Right.
because of that meeting.
That is a major concern to the town.
Yep, it is.
Yep. At the current time, the 2 lots don't warrant anything like that to be constructed, so.
I think we should put that, though, on the plan.
As a
I would like to
condition.
see that as a condition. So it's made there for good.
What's that condition? On the town property?
Yes, that
Yeah, well,
it's
we
not
don't-
to
we
be
don't-
used.
We don't
as-
own it, so we couldn't
Yes.
utilize it.
Right,
It's
but
the
we can
town
put
owned.
it on there as a condition.
Well, it's town property.
Does
But
not
that
want-
doesn't mean it's going to stay town property.
Exactly. You
We
could
sell,
change
sell
anytime.
town property. I
Right,
mean,
but would
in the
that go on
in the
their stuff,
future,
or-
it could be They
The
even,
town has control over that by
Right.
owning
I
that
believe you
property.
even came to the town at one time when the previous town manager was here
This is
and
exactly
asked to
what
acquire
happened
that
here.
property.
You did come here to us.
But I mean, where it's town-owned property, the town has the jurisdiction over
They
it. So it's
do.
what the
But
town
what if the
decides.
town sells it?
Yep.
That's
But at the time,
But
it
then,
did-
but they
it-
still wouldn't have control of
It's
it.
a major concern to the town as a whole.
Well, over Canterbury, that goes over wetlands too, right?
yes, there is a whole
So
wet property.
There's a lot of
right there.
wetlands. So
There
I
is.
don't know if that's on conservation's list or not.
50% was on you.
But I know that was wetlands, and I know that's why before, I mean, I don't see,
50% of the parcel is
I don't know
wet.
who the town would
That's a
sell
very
it to.
unreasonable condition for a two-lot subdivision that's before you right now.
Yeah, I would agree.
What would the condition, what exactly is the condition that's
I don't
being?
know what the condition is, because it's town-owned property. So if you ask them to put on their plan, you know, about town-owned property, I don't know if you can do that. That, to me, that doesn't make sense. It's like your neighbor wanting to do something, say, you know, putting a condition on his property about your property.
No, it's a condition on the access road, period.
There is no access
There
road
is no
being
access road.
proposed.
No, but there's a proposal for it. There was
Yeah,
at this time.
But,
and
right,
it
but
was
that's,
refused.
and that's not in front of us right now. And was over town-owned property, right?
That was a prior owner and a prior applicant. We never had a proposal in front of you showing a road there. Yes, we attempted to purchase that property from the
Right.
town. The town said no.
Right.
That is it.
Just wanted to make sure, that's all. Still say it wouldn't hurt to put it on.
But I know as I look through the recommendations, there is a note at the bottom from, and it's part of the staff, that with the number of outstanding issues, legal, recording, and plan review, they're recommending that the application be continued to December 20th.
Yep.
But that doesn't mean we can't go through the waivers.
Well, it depends if we're gonna pass the bids.
You know, no, to look at them, right? There's, no
Yep.
one says we can't. At least do that.
Where is that on the staff review?
It was, what's on the planning department they sent to us? Yeah, the updated one
Yep,
was
the
updated
updated.
November 14th. The
I have a November.
second to last page.
No, we don't have that one.
I can show it to you if you want to see it.
Sure. I would take a copy of, I don't need it right now. I'll just take a copy before we leave.
It's this
Last
one,
one we
right?
received was October 30th.
This one right here?
So it's essentially saying that the limited waiver of municipal liability, it was granted, but staff is recommending that the document be executed and recorded.
Yeah, the limited waiver, we did that on Monday night. I think it was Monday night. What's today, Wednesday?
Today's
What,
Wednesday.
What, so it was Monday, the selectmen's meeting.
Yeah. So just the timing didn't line up to approve tonight. We can't legally approve because that's not executed.
Is it, could you approve with conditions that that be recorded?
No.
I think we should, you know, let's at least maybe take a look at the waivers. So at least we know what those look like.
Yeah, we can look at them. I think it's just gonna have to be continued.
Right.
Does anybody else have any discussion? Here.
Let's see what everyone else thinks.
You go, Tim.
I just got a question, just an aside about the road, the driveway. If at some point, and just hypothetically, if something were developed and there were additional houses and things like that, you know, does this status as a driveway? I mean, is there a difference between the engineering of the driveway and, let's say, a road of some kind? You know, that, because I would think at some point or whatever that road would be contemplated to be turned over or to the town to be serviced.
It's a driveway, not a road.
Right. But if you were to have additional houses, when does a driveway become, you know, not a driveway, but a road or a cul-de-sac?
So the town would have to accept it.
Would have to come before the planning board and be proposed first.
Right.
And then the planning board would have to approve the plan, then the town would have to accept it down the road
Right.
as a down road. But we're not there, not proposing that right now. The only thing I could say that might pertain is the center line and the site distance would be the same location. If a road ever was there, it's the only place it could go is centered on the same place that the driveway is centered on now. So that there's visibility from a safe site distance in both directions.
Which one?
Yeah, I don't see,
Tim, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, that's what
yeah, I don't see anything here that, the thing you want to be careful of, if there's more work to be done, you don't want to grant a waiver that's contrary to what work is in the future. But
Right.
I don't see any of these that
Gonna do that?
wouldn't be a problem. So it's kind of, takes a one half dozen the other, I think, whether we do the motions now or at the continued hearing. Might want to ask if there's a butters here.
Right, oh, I'm gonna do that next, are we all done? That's why I asked here first. for
Yeah.
Discussion
Yeah,
here.
before we get to answering the waivers,
Yep.
the public should talk.
Anybody outside there would like to speak, please? Welcome.
Thank you. My name is Megan Martin, Meghan Martin. I live at 9 Buttonwood Farm. I'm one of the abutters of the property. I'm going to say what I said in June, which is basically I'm going to ask the board to deny the waivers for the soil analysis, the 25-year stormwater analysis, the location of soil erosion, preliminary designs to mitigate soil erosion, and stormwater drainage waivers, because I feel that while at this time there is only one property or one, we're only here for the subdivision. And if it's more than one property, they'll have to come back and do all the testing and this, that, and the other. I understand that. I can read. However, I have concerns about what even that one property, driveway, etc., could do to the wetlands that are on those remaining 40 plus acres. It's pretty wet back there. And if we don't know what that soil erosion looks like, if we don't know what that stormwater runoff looks like, we don't know the long-term implications for all of the wetlands that are back there. And so for that reason, I would ask the town to deny those waivers this time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Yep.
Corinne Martin, 9 Buttonwood Farm. I understand that they are looking to move forward with the subdivision. I have one question that relates to the wells and the septics that would be part of this. There is an existing well and an existing septic that are part of 717 Harriman. And please correct me if I'm wrong, but one of them would need to be either moved or addressed, because if we move forward with a subdivision, the well or the septic would be on the other property, number one. And number two, if we approve this and 17 Harriman as it stands needs to have a different well and a different septic, where is that going to go, considering the land lines and the wetland lines and the mandates for the well water or well and the septic with regard to wetlands that would exist for two properties? So now we're talking about creating a new septic times 2 question mark, a new well times 2 question mark, and the lines of where those would be based on the wetlands. As an aside, I am also interested in purchasing the piece of property owned by the town of Plastow directly behind us. And if they are not putting it up for sale, I am directly and have already expressed interest in putting that into an irrevocable trust and conservation land. Forever. So, I want to know where the wells and the septic and where they're going to put that ish. That's all.
Okay. That's fair.
I'd be happy to speak to that and outline it on the plan. As you can see, the 3 well radiuses that are shown on here, the existing one up in this area, there are 2 existing wells. One is an old dug well and one is an artesian well, both of which we are proposing to decommission. So those would be decommissioned by a licensed well driller in the state of New Hampshire per New Hampshire DES requirements. So those get sealed off. So there's no chance of any runoff or anything, erosion from the new driveway going into them. They're all completely sealed and safe. And they get buried down below grade, filled with bentonite. And then a new well is proposed with the radius fully on the proposed lot. We'll stick with the existing proposed house with the house lot with the existing home on it first. There's an existing state-approved septic system at the bottom of the hill, right in this square location that has a state approval. That septic is active and good working order, servicing that existing home. And we are proposing a new well to be drilled. It'll be an artesian well, which meets all the setbacks from the septic, lot lines, radius is on the lot. It's not in the wetlands. The wellhead itself is right here where the W is. And then shifting gears to the new lot with the 45 acres. Again, there's a proposed well location that would be an artesian well, 75-foot radius, fully on the lot, with the 4K area for a septic system, which we've done test pits to prove that works. So that's the location where septic would go on this larger lot. So that answers the septic and well questions. And on top of that, this proposal has received State of New Hampshire subdivision approval, where DES looks at those well sightings and test pits and septic locations and grants their state approval on that.
So if you like, my name is Lynn Zabrowski. I'm the engineer for Jones and Beach that did the plans. I'd just like to speak a little bit about the waiver. One of the waivers is.
If you just move the microphone a little closer, just to make sure.
So, thank you. The first waiver, of course, was for the soil mapping. And as Josh had mentioned, we did do soil mapping, and the soils for the existing lot with the HIS mapping and everything, that lot was fine. And then we only needed a little piece of the proposed lot to get good enough soils to support a house, a well, and a septic, just on that one little piece. And the rest of the lot, we just don't need to show that. We had plenty of good soil. That's right on the plan. We have both soils and the HIS mapping standards. You can see they're well above what the town requires as far as weighted averages for the soils for each lot. So we could actually support many more buildings, but we don't want to. We just want that one 49-acre lot or 45-acre lot with one house.
at this time is all we're talking about.
So we did do enough soil mapping on both lots to prove that they're both buildable. The
Right.
town engineers also reviewed that waiver and was in support of it.
And as far as the drainage waivers, we don't have any. I did kind of look at the drainage numbers, and there wouldn't be anything proposed differently to the plan. There's no increase in runoff, or that the existing lot, the other 45 acres could not absorb. There really is no, it's not a road, it's not designed that way. It doesn't have, the salts and the different things that roads have. So we don't have any treatment proposed, and we don't need any for just a driveway when they build it. So that's the basis for the waivers.
So if there were additional work that was going to be done, then we would have to go through the full soil testing.
Correct.
Right.
All
Okay.
testing has to be
If we
done.
were going to do a road, it would be a
All
different plan.
And I just a quick question to one of the abutters. I believe you had mentioned where the property you were talking about, where you had proposed expressing interest in buying or having it put into some sort of conservatorship of the town. That's the town property that we were talking about in terms of an access road and such like that. Okay, so that's sort of a separate related question. You're just using it as an opportunity to kind of bring it. Okay,
Know where it is.
excellent. Thank you. No, I'm just saying, I just want to conceptually keep the two separate. All right, so
At the waivers? What do you want to do,
Do
Karen?
that, continue it.
I think I'm comfortable with the waivers in the sense that if something further is going to be developed, then
It has to come back
It has to
before
come
us and it
before
has
us.
to be done.
Yeah.
so, I mean, it's,
So then you really don't, well, I guess it's really for next time again, but then you don't think we need to say anything about the access road, at least put something on there?
I don't think they're amendable to it. They would have to agree to it.
You know, I think about all we can do tonight would be to look at the waivers and then continue it. So that's really where we are tonight.
Could you vote on the waivers tonight? Vote to approve them so we don't have to
Want to wait?
come back with
vote on
that?
them?
I mean,
Anybody want to vote on them? Okay,
I don't see any reason why not to vote on them.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can. We can vote on
we
them.
know they had to come back anyway, so,
right, and then the waivers, it's one thing.
Done and
for this lot. Yeah.
And we did
Okay.
have KNA, didn't have any issues with the waivers. As I'm looking at them. Should at least read the waivers if we're going to vote on them.
There was a draft also, though, on that, an easement right there, was also in our group here, also in the paper here.
Yeah, that is the sightline easement.
Yep,
Right at the road.
sightline clearing and grading area. So we'll reference this easement in all deeds of conveyance. Okay. Okay, want me to take the first one?
Yeah, if you want to read it, so we,
Yep.
To waive an estimate of storm water drainage capacity and location of all storm sewers, culverts, and similar measures. The capacity of the storm water facilities shall be based on the estimated rate of runoff after construction for a 10-year, 24-hour rainfall using the Soil Conservation Service method.
Should we do one?
No.
No, you gotta read waiver request number 1.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was
Yeah,
gonna read
it
the
starts
beginning.
on page 4 and then the motion bits are on 5.
Okay, all right, so it's at the end.
Yeah.
Right down at the bottom.
What page is it on?
On page 4.
Bottom of
four?
page 4. Look at the staff report that's updated November 14th.
Oh, okay.
Why don't I have that one?
18.11.
Where is that? It's not under staff, it's
You
staff
want mine
report,
right here,
right?
open?
Staff report?
They're the one that's updated?
Staff report, updated. Where's mine?
You need more pieces of paper over there.
Oh, these, right here? I have a different paper.
this one?
It's on the staff
Okay.
report,
This one? Okay.
updated.
Yeah,
Up-
it's supposed to be the other one. I
Updated
didn't get
November
that.
14th.
Okay.
Do you have
Have
it,
it, Karen, or you
Karen?
want me to read it?
No, I have it now because you
Okay.
didn't give me the right page.
one at your place.
Huh?
Put one at your place for you.
Oh, you did? Okay. Well, I have no idea.
All right.
Okay, thank you, Kim. All right, waiver request 1. Soil boundaries, soil symbols using standards of high-intensity soil survey and determined by the on-site inspection of certified soil scientists. Okay, I move to grant the waiver request from Article 5, 235, 1811 for the reasons stated in the waiver request.
So you made the motion then, right?
Yep, made the motion.
Seconded.
Second by Richard. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, it's waiver 1. Waiver 2, an estimate of the rate of runoff before and after development using the soil conservation science method for a 25-year and 24-hour rainfall for subdivisions larger than 5 acres. I move to grant the waiver request from Article 5, 235, 18JJ for the reasons stated in the waiver request. Motion?
I'll second.
Okay, vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Waiver request 3. Approximate location and plan for each proposed soil erosion and sediment control measure as outlined by the Rockingham County Conservation District. I move to grant the waiver request from Article 5, 235, 18KK for the reasons stated in the waiver request. Motion? And then second?
Seconded.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Waiver request 4. Preliminary designs of any structures which may be required to control runoff. KNA, okay, yep. Waiver request, I move to grant the waiver request from Article 5, 235, 18LL for the reasons stated in the waiver request. Motion. Second,
I'll second.
okay?
Wait a minute, who is that?
Chuck. Okay, then, all right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Waiver request 5, an estimate of stormwater drainage capacity and location of all storm sewers, culverts, similar measures. The capacity of the storm water facility shall be based on the estimate rate of runoff after construction for a 10-year, 24-hour rainfall using the Soil Conservation Service method. Okay, I move to grant the waiver request from Article 5, 235, 18MM for the reasons stated in the waiver request. Second?
Seconded.
Okay, who? Richard?
Chuck can
Okay.
have it.
Oh, Chuck.
Doesn't
Okay.
matter which one.
Oh, it does.
Okay. All right, all in favor?
I,
Aye.
Okay, that was 5, right? Waiver request 6,
We can't,
Oh, that one
we
we're
can't,
not
we
doing.
can't do that one.
because that's stormwater ordinance,
Right.
yeah, okay.
So we would formally withdraw that one.
You withdrew it?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Yep. Okay. Guess that's it.
So now you just have the note at the bottom that's in red, which shows we're gonna continue it. 20th,
Yeah, down here.
yes, down a little further, right above where it
Right
says
here, noting the
additional
number and
information.
nature. The last one, noting the nature. Yeah. Noting the number and nature of the outstanding issues, legal, recording, and plan review, staff is recommending that this application be continued to December 20th, 2023 meeting. Okay,
What's the next meeting?
The 20th of
December
December.
Was there another meeting you're gonna have prior to that?
That's like our workshop meeting.
yeah, it's a workshop meeting. It's the zoning.
I'm outside of the recording the selectmen's document, what else was it that you needed as far as plan review goes? Because you have a letter from Keach.
Yeah, we had the letter from Keach.
I'm
I think it's
curious
just-
if we need to go that far.
I think it just has to be,
Within 2
it,
weeks.
it hasn't been recorded yet.
Right.
Right,
I think that's-
that agreement, right?
Yeah, I think that's one of the pieces.
I mean, it seems reasonable that we could get that recorded within 2 weeks' time, right? Yeah, that's, I mean, I know I'll get the holiday coming up, but I mean,
I know.
we could ask to be, we could
We have to
continue
be
to
here
the
too.
20th if we weren't prepared, but I'd much rather try to.
Yeah, I'm trying to, I have no idea what we haven't, Victoria, you
No,
have any
I
idea what we
think
got in front
we
of us?
already have the 6th done enough, and we have to do some more work ourselves on the 6th.
Plus,
so
unfortunately, we're
Can't do
working
that
on it.
again.
Plus, we've got things to get ready, gotta get on the ballot.
We have to get them by a certain date.
It's that time of the year.
Yeah, and we have to be here the 20th too. I don't know, I don't like it either. So we'll do it for the 20th then.
And hopefully that'll be very quick.
Oh, yes, it'll be,
We'll see. Depends on how everything comes out, right?
right. Receive everything.
And it's only for the lot adjustment anyways. We're not talking about any housing or anything.
Okay, thank you very much for coming in. Hope
Thank
we
you very
answered your
much.
questions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, do you want that back? I thought we messed up your paper already. Updated November 14th.
You probably didn't have it, Karen, because
I don't think I did.
Jim came and picked up your packet the other day,
Yes,
right?
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
I thought they added them all tonight. They put one- I thought they might have put one on your spot because it was updated today, or yesterday.
Oh, see, I didn't see.
I even forget what day it is now.
I don't know what day it is. So was this yours?
Yeah, you can keep it, or
Thank you, because, I'll probably find it someplace, but, okay.
Karen, you need to start showing up with the secretary or something.
Huh?
You need an administrative assistant.
Hey, I had
Because you got
this so
spread out.
well planned. I had these piles perfect. Messed the whole thing up.
You're doing okay.
I read everything. I had them all settled.
There you go.
Did everything you wanted.
Right. Move on to our amendments.
Yeah.
Keep the train rolling.
Yep, okay. I just wanted to make sure here
Yep.
now. This is still, oh my God, it's still all that
No,
one
you want
file.
to say something?
Hang on. Engineering here, who was this one? And I supervision of Harriman Road. But Now, are we on proposed zoning amendments?
We,
No.
Yeah, there are some here.
we do.
Are we going to go to master plan goal determination activity?
Well, we're gonna look at the zoning amendments first. That's
Zoning
next up,
amendments.
right?
Yep, that's what I was thinking.
Yep.
So just want to make sure. Got it in order here. Okay. Speaking about C3. So are we going to be able to give some of our suggestions now tonight? Instead of all coming from,
If I'm not mistaken, I think the ones we got here are just some,
these are ones that keep coming up. And we decided aviation was not going to be on it.
Yes, but it needs to go in there because aviation is an allowed use, but we have no definition.
So it has to go in.
yeah,
Can I
it's,
ask why
Well,
aviation's going into Plasto?
Who wants this in? Because it's been like that for years and years and years.
Well, it's just tidying things up. Just your favorite thing for us to say.
Tying things up?
Tidying.
Up why, I guess is what we're asking.
Because it's an allowed use in one of the districts. I don't remember off the top of my head which one, but we don't have a definition for it. So this kind of covers your butt by actually defining aviation.
And I just want to know where we're putting an airport in.
Yeah, and
It's allowed.
Why are we doing this?
It's allowed.
but I guess it's an allowed use, so we just have to have the language.
Are we going to
If
have
I
a
understand it correctly from what
Are we
you're
going to
saying.
have a helicopter pad?
It's allowed in your zoning. I didn't write it.
No. I'm not saying that to you now. What I'm saying is I'm wondering why somebody put this in here right now.
I
Is
think,
there a plan? I'd like to know what it is.
Because aviation use is allowed in industrial 2 zone, but it's not defined.
Yeah, it's not defined. There's no plans for anyone to put one in. I don't know how the heck you could put one in anywhere.
No.
Exactly. So I
But
just didn't
I
know
think
why it
it's-
was even on here.
Because I guess you said it's one of our listed uses.
It's an allowed use. It's permitted use in industrial 2
Yep,
as it
so,
stands.
I'm out of
Go ahead, Tim.
What you don't want to have happen is have an allowed use,
Yep.
which doesn't have a definition. So Victoria gave us a definition. We can just as easily strike that as an allowed use.
Mhm.
We don't have to continue allowing aviation as a permitted use
I
in
like
industrial
that.
too.
I like that.
So,
I like
I mean, you
that.
can
I
go
like
either
that.
way.
I like that.
so
I could
if
just see
you,
Plasto
if you did strike it as an
Big,
allowed
huge now.
use, would they be able to land a med flight helicopter in the industrial 2 area?
Yes, yeah, that's a
That's
special.
what they're allowed to do now, right?
That's a hospital thing, and an emergency.
It's an emergency situation, so that's,
They've been using Westville is what I was thought. Maybe
Or-
somebody had an
or
idea.
the high school if they have to, or it all depends on, it's an emergency use. It's not, that's the way I
Well,
think
that's what I just want to know
It's-
is that
yeah,
by
it's-
striking it,
yeah,
we're not
right.
precluding something that we would like to
Right.
have
Right,
access to.
that's what
Yeah,
we
can you
wanted to know.
imagine that someone needs it? And
Yeah.
Unless there's somebody in town,
College school used to be, remember?
I
College
had
school.
I had to practice out there one day. We had to clear the fields, I remember.
Yep, and somebody came right in. So that's why you want a definition. Okay, yep,
Mhm.
all right.
So we want to strike it, right?
But we
As an
strike-
allowed use.
Oh, as
Like,
an allowed
like
use.
Tim suggested.
Right. But don't we still need a definition? No.
Nope.
No,
If
if
we
you
take
strike it
the-
as use, you don't need a
Take the allowed
definition.
use out, then there's no
There's
mention of
reason to
aviation.
have it in. Okay, okay. No, I get it. Do we all vote on that? No.
No.
No, but just a consensus, if that's the way we want to go
Yep.
forward,
Yep,
then that's how we'll change the zoning language.
no, I agree with that. Everybody agree with that?
You don't
So
want to
you
be
just wanna-
Logan North?
Get rid of aviation.
Manchester South.
Okay. There we go. And the next one, I thought we weren't going to do anything more on home occupations here. For the rental, what was it now? It was the rental, I thought it was on rental, but it's not. What is this on? Sufficient off-street parking for employee and clients to be provided.
Yeah, this is just a point of clarification because in the original home occupation ordinance, it wasn't transparent. it wasn't obvious what business vehicles were.
Okay.
It could be a huge trailer just left there.
So, yeah, we'll
So
stop
this just
multiple
cleans it up a
trailers.
little bit. The outside parking of not more than 2 business vehicles total, which includes cars, trucks, and or trailers.
All right, well, I'm just thinking about numbers now. When we start putting everything together now, what is more important than anything, so.
I think it's kind of like we did last year. We kind of put them all out there and then we
Then we
started,
can take
then we
some
started
apart.
knocking them off. But I think at some point, we gotta start this process here.
Yes, yep. This is, yeah, we got to start what's going on here, right now.
So,
Numbers.
so I would say if we're good with this one, then we'll put it on the list. That's my opinion.
All right, do
And then
anyone
later, we
put it
can
on?
always try.
Yep, okay.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
You know, and then as we,
Sounds good.
get to the point like last year, we took a few off. We
Yes,
might
we're
get- we
gonna
may
have
get to
to,
that point
believe me.
again.
Okay.
And then for solar, how many do we have for solar?
Yeah, solar, can we make it a little shorter? I don't know how you're gonna do that, but it was quite a bit on that, and nobody's gonna read all that either.
Well, Tim, you wrote the solo one up, right?
Oh, did you write this one?
Yeah.
Keep it short. You can't really write, I know.
Well, I mean, you know, the other option you have with a lengthy amendment is to just say, simple, are you in favor of amendments to the solar ordinance? And then you have a separate sheet. But
But you don't know if they'll get that separate sheet, though. You don't know if they-
it's,
Right?
yeah, I mean, if we do,
It's
if we
not
do,
that
if we do
bad.
the stormwater one, that is, I mean, that's huge. So that
Yes,
one
that
would
is.
obviously, we'd have a separate sheet for that.
You're gonna have to for that one.
The solar one, flip a coin.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So we
How many
can,
does it have?
there's just one.
One amendment with everything spelled out.
There's just one amendment with,
Okay.
a
It's
half
amendment
dozen
3, right?
changes
Yes.
spelled out.
Okay. So we do this one, and we'll do this one. Now, was there anything on this solar one? Anybody questions? What changes, anything? I think it looks pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Ground mounts, roof mounts,
Yeah, it seems like it's pretty inclusive, which is good.
yeah. Abandonment. That's a good one too. Proposed, okay. Oh. Anybody have any questions on that one? I think that's very good, Tim.
So is that just one amendment or is there two there?
Just one.
Just one? Oh, okay.
That's what I meant. It was long, but I think he's right. I don't think putting an extra paper on this one's gonna do any good. I think it's good
Okay,
to
so
have it this
one,
way.
two, so we're up to three.
Yep, we have 1, 2, 3.
And then we're gonna have stormwater.
Well, wait a minute now. No, we only have 1, 2, because we aren't gonna do aviation now.
No, but we're gonna take that
No.
use out. So it's just gonna get reworded.
Yeah, but we still have to have it as an amendment.
Okay.
Yeah, it's either this, or
Yeah.
as Tim said, we
Yeah.
gotta do it the other way.
Okay, so we're up to 1, 2, 3.
Three.
Yes, we are.
And then stormwater.
Yep. Now, I don't
4.
have a stormwater.
Well, no, but I mean, we're gonna have it.
Okay, all right, so you writing that one too? To write that stormwater one?
No, that's,
It's stock language, right?
yeah.
4 stormwater, I put 4 stormwater on that one, okay. And then it was, I put in the paper of the 4 districts, 5 districts, 6 districts that we went over of any changes we want in the actual districts. Like, I have a couple of things on C3 and C2, I think. Wally, you had something about C2?
Yeah, I don't know how anybody
So how do
else
we do
feels
it?
about it, but
Yep.
changing C2 to MDR rather than having it C2 with businesses creeping up Main Street,
MDR, right?
considering that housing is the big push. But I don't know how anyone else would feel about that.
So can we
If you're
write,
talking about changing a whole entire zoning district that's going to need to be reviewed by your attorney.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we go about that?
I don't, as your circuit rider, I don't do that. You would have to ask for assistance from D.
Well, I mean, we'd have to make
You have to write an amendment.
write some kind of proposal. But,
Right.
I mean, there's a lot of small commercial shops along in the C2, which all of a sudden now those are non-conforming.
But
So
they're
it's-
grandfathered in.
They're grandfathered in, but still,
And even if they sold it, wouldn't it just still go with the property?
yeah, you don't lose it.
It just wouldn't, they just wouldn't be able to add,
Stop
there-
something.
there wouldn't be more able to add more, or if they did, they'd have to go to the ZBA.
How does anybody else feel about it?
You know,
We have to
if
think about it a
if
little
it's
bit.
if it's too much for this year, that's fine. I mean, could be something we can mull over and maybe next year and.
Yeah, because I'd like to think about it a little bit more, to take a look. Not to say, you can't come to a conclusion in the next few weeks.
No, that's fine.
It's definitely something to think about. There's no reason.
Because actually, when we, the open house that we were at, a resident came up and asked me, well, why do we have C2 on Main Street? And it was something I had been thinking about for a while. You know, they said that should just be residents. So,
I don't know. I mean, you go back into the 50s, I mean, Keyser had a manufacturing plant of some kind. I mean, it's always been a mixed commercial residential use.
but isn't Keyser like the village center?
Yeah, that was up further.
What's the name of that
Well,
road?
you're right, yeah.
C2 only goes up to, across from the library.
Yeah.
It didn't quite go past that.
Yeah, you're right, yeah.
So we're just talking really that short stretch is what you're talking about.
To the library.
From the beginning of Main Street to the library, there's a road across the street. I want to call it Blossom, but it's not Blossom. Begins with a B, I
It
think.
does begin with the
Bittersweet.
like Buttonwood or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, maybe that's it. Is it Buttonwood?
No, Bittersweet.
Oh, Bittersweet.
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 We
So-
were all around it.
Yeah, so it goes, so it goes from the beginning of Main Street to Bittersweet. That's C2.
And there really aren't a whole lot of businesses really right there, right? Just trying to think.
Right
How
now.
many you have right now as you come down? I know it is more aesthetically pleasing when you come into town, residential's instead of looking at businesses. It gives you
I
that
think the one
feeling.
that's in there is that new hand that we just passed, hand therapy.
Mm-hmm.
And that you wouldn't even know was a business.
No, you wouldn't, but that was a flower shop at one time.
Yes, yeah, it's been everything. But I mean, it's been,
No, well, it's the way it looks, right? It looks.
right, it looks
It doesn't look.
residential.
Yeah.
I mean, as you come down, you've got an auto body place. Then you
Now,
have,
who owns the new one now? Now that the guy moved out?
I don't know. Yeah, then you have that one as well.
Yeah.
And then there is a tool place after that, right? Then after that, there really,
It really isn't.
But it doesn't affect what's already there.
no, I get that. I'm just trying to kind of talk out on
Sure,
my mind,
yeah,
what's there. I'm
more
trying to
stuff
picture as I
coming
go
in.
down.
Whether you really want stuff coming in. Keep
To
it.
be honest, that section there, if it's just, we're talking that section,
Yep.
I think that's okay. I would agree with you.
Yeah, it's not a very,
Yeah,
the other part is the village center.
yeah,
Yes.
right.
That's
But
different.
if we're just talking right there,
Yep. To the library.
I wouldn't want to see another business going in that area, to be honest, I wouldn't. The only thing you have is you have the tailor shop right there too, but that's a house.
Mm.
Right, exactly.
And you have,
Changed
you
1,000
have,
times.
well, you have the pool place.
They can't expand anymore because they've gone, whatever that
They're way-
percentage
Right,
is.
but I'm just talking the
Yeah.
businesses that are there, so you have the pool place. And there's a place like across the street, nothing's been in there for a while.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know, I see cars, you're talking about is it
Taxis it
pain
used to be?
management or something to do with back?
No, it was a little further up.
Oh. I thought you meant the big white building.
Yeah, I know the white building, I know that one. That's always kind of, I've never known what's
You
going
mean
on in that
going
place.
toward
The Spine
the,
Center or something.
toward
Yeah,
stores
that's
now,
it,
going that
Spine.
way?
Yeah, it's almost
Yeah,
across
it
from the
had
pool.
taxes, didn't it?
There was a tax place and next to
Yes.
that, one further up.
Okay.
It's
No, I
almost
don't
like
know
it's
what's next.
abandoned a little bit, so I don't know what the deal is there.
Huh. No, I don't know that one.
But I
Taxes,
think-
do remember.
That's a nice stretch of road to keep residential. It kind of
Yeah.
comes right into the center of town.
It's really small.
It keeps that quainter look of the town, I think. You have thoughts on it, Tim?
I mean, the whole purpose of the Village Center District was to have small shops, residential, more pedestrian friendly, so there was a reason to come into the center other than
Yeah.
walking your dog at the Pollard Park, which is fine. Nothing wrong with that either. But, if we strip out all these small businesses, there's no place else for them to go. They sure as hell aren't going to go to 125 because it's too expensive. And there's not very much room left on 108, and they probably, I don't know what the comparison. I'm sure 108 is cheaper than 125, but yeah, I don't know. I think it's kind of going in the wrong direction. If we want to pass some kind of an ordinance that says if you want to do a small commercial use, then the architecture must have it look like a house or
That must
some
be
kind of words
residential.
like that. I mean, I think that would be fine. And those that aren't are, as you say, are grandfathered, and the new ones would be have some protection. It would look like.
Well, why don't we think about it and bring it up at the workshop, the next
Yeah,
one?
and we'll put, well, I'll check.
Only a
on
couple
that one.
weeks away,
Yep,
Yeah.
but it's worth more discussion.
yep. Definitely.
And it doesn't affect the village center. It's only,
Right, it only goes, the section actually goes to the library.
So it stops, so it'd go from we're talking 125 to the library.
Right. Doesn't affect anything beyond that.
Yeah.
Okay, can I make a few suggestions on commercial 3?
Did you read what I sent?
Huh?
Some follow-up and educational materials to review before the next official planning board meeting? Because I wrote something, I wrote up something on substantial completion, what we talked about, the build out, retail definitions, site plan applicability, agricultural uses.
I did, and I like the business retail one that you sent.
Yes. Yep.
But then also the part about how I had a conversation with the RPC team and this is a big project and you don't want to make any mistakes. So I'm hesitant to just smush all this in one meeting when we're kind of on the edge anyway. This is a big deal.
What do you mean, the look of 125?
The whole retail, commercial, changing justification.
Right, see,
Village
I thought
Center.
we should take each district and maybe they'd have a different meaning for retail for each one. Because like, I'll be honest with you, on retail business on mine, I had wanted to put it in and they said, oh, you don't have to worry about it, it's not there. Well, you do. No superstores or box stores.
Yeah, but you can't just preclude specific things like that. You can make certain adjustments about the visuals. Like we had talked about self-storage, and you can make certain requirements that makes it so no one wants to build self-storage. Like you can't have any of the entrances on the road, and you have to have windows facing the main road, and all sort of garage entrances have to be facing on the other side. So
Maybe so
it,
many feet apart, probably something like
yeah,
that.
yeah. So those like really nitpicky things can
So I
make it so
can't
that no one
actually
wants to
say
do
no
it.
superstores, like not a
No.
Target, not a, I
Mm.
mean, I can't possibly see that continuing up there. When half of them are going out of business anyway.
Yeah, you can limit the square footage of a building.
Okay, well, that was my next thing. I have that right in here.
She's all ready for you.
I mean, because I can just see C3 becoming more and more now. People are gonna try to treat it just like C1, but they'll just make a few changes. You know, and we're gonna be right back in the same spot, and they're all gonna go out of business anyway, just like they are down here on 125 all of a sudden.
Yeah, I know. I would really like to do a deep dive into this and especially consider where public water is. Because if we could allow mixed use with small
Small
businesses
smalls, that's
on
what I
the
want.
bottom floor and some
They could be on the top floor,
apartments on
yeah.
the top, and I
Yep.
think that that would be a wonderful thing to have where there's already water, because you
And I
could
think
have the
little
smaller
small
lots.
businesses are coming back. I think the entrepreneurs, you know, no, I do think they are. They're trying. They are trying to start something, but it's usually in the home first.
Yeah.
And then they try to come out and go, okay, well, here's nice land to do this up here.
Yeah.
And that's what I was trying to encourage, rather than a superstore or the same thing again down there, box store, bring them back up here now, and I will have 5.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to somehow eliminate that without being mean, but encouraging the smaller businesses. So what I did was over here on maximum building size, where a single business is to occupy a single building. I think it's 12,000 feet.
Bless you.
God bless you. God bless you.
Yep, that's what I remember, 12,000, yeah.
Yeah, and I wanted to put it to 10,000 feet on C3. If that's what I'm gonna have to do to eliminate like superstores, then I do it that way.
Yeah, those changes are very fair.
Yeah.
If
Put
you have a
any
bunch of
size
stuff
you want.
written out, can you have Dee circulate it with the group?
I'm
Oh,
sorry.
I can make a copy of what I messed up on this thing, yep.
Yeah.
I have
Yeah,
another copy.
before the next meeting, so we can think about
Yes,
it.
this is why I wanted to bring it up this meeting, to see how far I could go.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the other thing was, minimum lot size, area 80,000 square feet, because I was thinking of this, you know, even JR here. Frontage 150 feet. Minimum lot size, okay. All right, when it says minimum building setback, they said it was 50 feet?
Yeah,
Because
according
I
to,
thought it was 80, and
well,
I think that's what it should be.
yeah, but it depends on the building size, right?
Yeah, so it's 100.
It depends on the building size and the property size.
Okay, well then why is number 5, minimum building setback? 80 feet from the property line, what's wrong with that? That's what it says right in here, except it's 50.
Are you on the 2023
I'm on
zoning
page
ordinance?
86, the Plasto zoning ordinance with area and dimensions for C3.
86.
Maximum lot coverage, 75%. Yep, that I agree with that. 80,000 square feet, frontage 150 feet for a minimum lot size. Yep. Then it goes, maximum height, 45 feet or 3 stories, whichever is less. Go with that. Minimum building setback. Now, I thought that should be 80 feet rather than 50 feet, but maybe not from property line. From property line now. Is that wrong?
I thought we had changed that.
Yeah, what year zoning ordinance are you in? Because I'm on page 86, and
Yep.
this is integrated commercial residential for the 2023.
Oh,
So what does the first page say? Are you on 2022 maybe? Because it was changed last year.
okay, it was changed last year to what, though? That's when maybe I didn't get it.
What I read earlier. So, commercial 3, lot size is greater than 120,000 square feet and or the building size is greater than 10,000 square feet, then it's 80. But for everything else, smaller than that, then it's 50. And that's on table 22032I, minimum dimensions for all districts.
All right, so that's what I guess I'm asking, is the minimum building setback, what is it from the property line? What do they got there, the updated?
What? I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Yeah, minimum building setback. How many feet from front property
She
line?
just read it to you.
It depends on how big the lot size is.
Well, how come there's a number in this one?
Because you're probably reading the wrong zoning ordinance. It was changed last year. I'm reading the 2023 one.
Okay,
was
so
voted
they didn't
on.
give a number?
A number?
Yeah, they didn't give a number here from property line?
It's in the minimum dimension for all districts table. It's on my page.
All districts.
It's on my page 91. It's a table of
Right, so it's not
structure
set-
setbacks.
Okay, so is there a chance for me to change that in C3? No, they're all the same. That's what you're telling me.
I mean, there's a chance that you could change it. And that's just what it says right now.
Okay, and so when I wanted to bring the 12,000 feet down to that 10,000 feet, they already did it. Is that what you're saying?
No, no, you can change the size
Okay,
of the building.
all right.
Would it help if you, well, we could circulate that for the next meeting,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, why don't you write it up and
It'd be
then,
a lot easier when you can read something.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to take it all going.
yeah.
But I obviously have a wrong page, that's what I'm saying, so I don't know what good this is gonna do, but,
Do you have the whole zoning ordinance printed out right there? Or just the section that you were in?
Page 86 and page 85, it says commercial 3. It was added in, 30921. Yeah, it's just what was in the book.
When did you get the book?
Last year it was brought up to date, I thought. It has permitted uses, for example, okay, and it says retail
didn't realize we
business,
changed
and I was
anything
gonna
for
add no
2023.
superstores or box stores. You're saying I can't do that, right?
I don't know. I don't think so. Doesn't ring a bell.
No.
Okay.
You
So
can't
when we define
explicitly.
retail business, it's gonna apply to every district the same?
You can have things that are not allowed, and you can have size restrictions and requirements, and you can also have things that are only allowed by special exemption, which you guys don't take advantage of too much.
No,
So-
because that's what they told me. I wanted to write no contract yard
So
and
just,
no warehouse.
well,
Why won't they
just-
let me do that?
well, specifically,
You can do that.
It's not,
That's what they say. I don't need to do it, but then it comes up.
so we could say something like, I mean, just a medical service company by special exemption or something like that. And,
Yeah.
okay. And that would mean who would be given the exemption? It would be
The
The
ZBA.
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 ZBA grants it, but
Yeah,
we,
grants it.
we have to list the criteria for the
Right, for
special
them to
exemption,
follow. Right.
which not quite sure of that logic, but, but
So why don't you write it up, Karen, and send it to, and then we
Yeah,
can
but
have
see,
it for the next
I'm writing
meeting.
up something that they can't do, is what she's telling me. So,
Well, no, you just can't say big box stores, but you could say that retail locations can't be over a certain size.
which,
okay, well, I'll circle retail business and what I'm trying to say, and then you can tell
I
me.
mean, if we're saying that I mean, just hypothetically speaking,
Yep.
if Target was a large footprint,
Yes,
we would just say that you can't have a retail store greater than whatever.
that's
And
what I'm
and that would be, hypothetically aimed at precluding,
There's
a
lots of
store with a
reasons for
large
it. There's
footprint.
traffic, there's a lot
Yeah,
of reasons.
but I mean,
for it.
just, but that would be the logic that, when
Okay.
we say a box store, I'm assuming that we just mean like large store with big footprint.
Yep.
And
don't,
Right.
Doesn't that ordinance already say no larger than 12,000? Which are proposed?
Yeah, no larger than 12,000, but I want to bring that down to 10,000.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so I will circle that one. Okay. You know what it actually said before? It said building size where a single business is to occupy a single building, 20,000 square feet. Where the heck did that 20 ever come from? But it's 12,000 feet is what it should have been. So I want to change that to 10,000 feet. Bring it down from 12,000 to 10,000.
And I'd like to make sure that we're not being restrictive to buildings that want to be built and have multiple businesses in them.
Well, right, exactly. And I'm
Yeah.
trying to encourage more businesses, but like smaller ones
Yeah.
that offer us services, things like that, rather than just another big store that copies
Yeah.
exactly what's down the road and one's going to go out.
So we can
sooner or
look to
later.
see if we have minimums as well as max.
Okay.
You got to be wary of that too.
Hmm?
You got to be wary of the minimums too.
It says further restrictions applicable to all buildings on a lot. Multiple buildings are permitted provided they are located in such a manner as to account for pedestrian safety, as well as easy to follow traffic patterns. Total vehicle trips shall not excess 3,000 vehicle trips per day. Per what? So that was on there too.
That's a lot of trips.
I'll just circle this part, and I would just like to see it worded somehow. I guess. And retail business, I have no idea how to define that for C3. I just think they're all different. The retail, is different for different districts,
Yeah.
hopefully.
It's a little bit more legally binding though if you add allowed, not allowed, and special exemption.
See, in the old book, it was not permitted and it was listed.
Yeah.
It was not permitted, listed. This is way back now. I'm talking many years ago. So that's the way it used to be. Okay, no, I'll give you this copy and then see what you can do on those numbers, I guess. Because I didn't know. I didn't know
We
what
had
to
also
do.
talked about site plan applicability. I don't know if you were able to read through that document. It was based off of a change that was made last year about a multifamily district that we don't have. So I reworded it.
Where is that?
I sent it. I was super gung ho after the last.
Well, I remember you
meeting.
rewording it.
So I
and-
sent it on the 19th. So it was almost a month ago.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if I have that one. I should have had that one too. Is this the one you just sent, presence and plastos regulations, C3 and then C1, you listed them all, and then you had the chart?
No, that was a while ago.
Okay, that was a while ago too. Oh, I thought.
Do
See,
you
I've
have,
been-
do you have
I've
the
been
te-
on
do you have the
it.
text right there?
What?
That your reworded text?
You want me to read it?
Yeah, that'd be great because I think it's because it was very favorable. I just have a sense that it was favorable.
Oh, actually, no. After talking to Jen, she blew this one up.
She what?
So right now,
We're listening to you.
it says any application for physical changes to a lot in the commercial, industrial, or multifamily residential districts must include a site plan in the application that conforms to the Plastow zoning ordinance and all site plan review and subdivision regulations. So we don't have a multifamily residential district, so we wanted to get rid of that. But she wasn't in support of just striking that. And we have better examples from other communities. We have one.
But if we don't have it,
We have two other examples.
why do we have it in there?
Why do we add it? Right. We
I don't know
have
why it was added.
I agree.
It's just,
We
it's
don't have
site plan applicability, so it's definitely needed.
Do you think it should be in there?
Yeah, but no,
No.
it shouldn't be in there.
Okay,
We don't have a multifamily residential district.
right.
It's just confusing.
Why can't we just eliminate?
But after reading through the whole site plan applicability, there were some holes poked in it, and we gave some better examples. I can circulate this email again so we could talk about it at the next meeting. Unless you want me to read one of the examples.
I just don't see that needing to go on this time at all. I just,
Well, it's in one of the amendments we did last year, but we don't have that district.
right.
So what do we do in that case?
Right,
We listed it in the
listed it, but
zoning amendment, but we don't have that district.
Yeah, it can be fought. It doesn't make any sense. You would just go by the RSA that governs when our zoning doesn't make sense or is illegal in any way.
I thought your verbiage was to say that a site plan only applied to, and you excluded, a list of things.
Yeah,
That is
that
a
was
duplex
my
or a-
original proposal, and then I ran it by Jen, the senior,
well, can't we
planner.
look at the original?
and she didn't like Plastows at all, and gave 2 other examples.
We have a lot to choose from.
2, it's only 2. One of them is not any longer than ours.
So this is something that would go into the site plan, not a zoning amendment?
It would be a zoning amendment, yeah, but
Oh,
it's
it
for
would be a
site plan
zoning amendment?
applicability.
Why do we
And
have
this
to-
also touches upon the agricultural conversation that we were having. So agricultural uses and expansion are not exempt from site plan review, but towns cannot put an undue burden. There's an undefined line of when and where site plan review is required. And that just has to do with health, safety, well-being. When 1 or 2 small things are added using building permits, then that is fine. But when the additional lot coverage is being increased over time by a considerable amount, then site plan review may be requested. So our current site plan applicability, it doesn't, it's flaky in that way. It doesn't, it just says any physical changes to a lot that doesn't have an existing site plan, and then anything in commercial, industrial, multifamily.
That doesn't make any sense at all.
But if we were to change it, we could bolster it a little bit so we don't have to come into issues. So this one says, the construction of any non-residential use or multifamily dwellings, the conversion or enlargement of existing non-residential or multifamily uses. The planning board shall consider the size and proportion of any building addition when determining whether a site plan review is required. So that specific point. But the planning board shall consider the size and proportion of any building addition when determining whether site plan review is required. So ours right now, it says any application for physical changes that doesn't have an existing site plan. But is that really how you feel? Or would you like the
I don't
power
think we
to
should be
decide?
touching any of this right now.
Either. I that's my feeling right now.
Well, it's site plan applicability. Nothing about ag uses.
I just don't see it in the zoning this year. I'm sorry.
The planning board may, at its discretion, waive this requirement if there's no anticipated impact on traffic, off-street parking, drainage, municipal services, or the surrounding neighborhood. So we were just talking about adding some more language to your site plan applicability to give the planning board more ability to be more flexible if deemed appropriate. And these are examples from other towns. But I can just send it to you and you can read it and you can think on it.
Yeah.
I sent it almost a month ago.
We can discuss it
I'm
at the
sorry,
next
I-
meeting.
No, that's okay. I just wanted to get it out of the way.
Right, but is it what you said? Is that what we're gonna get to receive, not what was cut out? I want to see what your comment was.
I just I copied and pasted the current. And then I did write some notes.
Okay.
And then I copied and pasted 2 examples from other communities.
But yeah, I'd like to see those.
I will.
And just, just to say it out loud then, with respect to a site plan review and such, I mean, we're not, there is some discussion about agritourism and such, and, I wouldn't want any language that we're talking about site plan review and such, the.
To
planning
complicate
board-
things?
Well, to infringe upon that. I mean,
Yeah,
it's,
yeah.
I mean, I think there might even be some talk of, having, an agriculture, tourism overlay type district or something like, or, where you contemplate certain things with respect to agriculture and agritourism. And I wouldn't want, that to be contrary to that, because I think, at least from survey wise and, what I've heard from, people in town is that we're not looking to more tightly circumscribe, agriculture. We're looking to make it easier, not have, maybe, expanding someone, they shall impose a site plan review on somebody. I don't think that's a direction that I would want to go.
Yeah. Yeah, I just asked Dee to forward those to you guys again, and you'll notice how they are in a way softer than what we have currently.
Mm-hmm.
Just gives more flexibility.
Where are we on the list here?
Okay.
Next.
Yeah, there was another one in here, discussions, things that were tabled, looks
Yep.
like from last year. We want to do those, not do them.
This one's right here, like that?
Yeah, might as well take a look, right? If we
Yep.
knock, say
I
yay,
had them here
yay,
too.
nay.
Well, we already went through this list.
We did?
Yeah.
I just see it, I just want to make sure.
Yeah, we'll go through it again. Also, did anyone look at the comments from Steve Keach about the stormwater management?
About the what now?
Stormwater management ordinance.
That here too.
He wanted to change the applicability to 20,000 square feet instead of 15.
What are we at now?
That's up to you.
I forget.
We're at 20 now, and after discussion, we were very in between 2015, but settled on 15. And Steve Keach now says 20,000. So
Why?
there was a reason, I forget. To avoid catching certain types of projects, he just thinks that 15 is too low, and we're gonna catch certain projects. But that's his opinion.
It's an opinion.
It's been a very valid one. He reviews these all the
So we
time.
can keep it at 15 if we want, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
That you were writing up. Is that what we did? We were keeping it at 15?
Yeah, we agreed on 15.
That's what I
We
thought.
discussed it quite a bit, too.
Yeah, we did.
Yes, we did. So you said now, for example, we do have to consider whether we're going to put aviation in as one of the.
No, we're going to
zones.
strike that word.
Yeah, right. I mean.
So
let's
that'll
strike that.
be one on there, right?
So there is
so-
going to be
so-
one.
so
You got to
that-
count it. Yep.
Right, so that'll be the one, so if you look at,
What we have
so
now.
this is 3. So we're at 3.
Well,
'Cause you
one,
get 1, and then
we're not doing the home occupations.
we're not
so
going to do the home occupation?
We got solar.
We're not doing home occupation?
I thought we
I
were.
had it.
Yeah, we are.
We are.
We are.
Oh, okay.
So there were 3 on this for the amendments. We
One,
said yes to all 3
two.
of them.
We are going to do the solar. Yes, solar was
Yep.
3.
Solar, I mean, that's,
Yep. that
And
was
then
3.
stormwater will be number 4.
Stormwater will be
Right.
4. Right. Right. Okay. And I just want to know where we were.
yep.
And we're not doing anything with the rest of this.
And then the
And
other,
definitions are if there's trouble in districts, like my thing here,
Well, the ones that we
That's
tabled,
not a zoning, right? That's just a change? Or,
Retail definitions are in the zoning ordinance.
yeah, okay, well, I'll give you this and then you see what happens with it.
So what do I need to do if I want to
Yeah, what about
propose
your
to
two?
change
You have to write up
C2 to MDR? What do I, you said you couldn't handle that?
You want to talk about it for this year?
Yeah, we were going to discuss it at the next workshop, but I want to know what I need to prepare for it.
You said you couldn't write it up.
a PowerPoint with slides.
Yeah. Hand signals.
I can talk to Dee about it.
Okay,
Yeah, I mean, I don't-
I'd appreciate it.
Okay.
yeah, I mean, I don't think you have to do, just so we don't forget it. Just then you're proposing changing C2 to MDR.
Yeah.
There was something else.
You thought there was something else?
Well, it was something, that you had sent to us, Victoria, on, something to do with master plan. What was the master plan?
Yeah, master plan goals.
Goal, yes, master plan, goal determination activity.
Part of the HOP grant is to write a housing master plan chapter, and part of that housing master plan chapter has got some goals. And I gave 8 options at the public engagement event, and I wrote down the comments that people added,
Okay.
and I want to know what you think of them.
Or we could just go right down the list here. Read each one, just to say it's done now.
And 8 is a lot. Usually you don't have 8, but if you feel super passionate about every single one of them, or you think we can smush them together, these are just some examples.
Right, and this is for the master plan, this is not for zoning, for
Nope.
writing anything on that. No, this is separate.
And that isn't, we don't have to get that ready for,
No, so if you
Put it
wanna,
on the next meeting. Then,
yeah, or if you just wanna sleep with this under your pillow and write down notes
okay,
every once in a
okay.
while,
All right, then hand it to you?
yeah, sure.
we can take a vote on it anytime,
Okay, all right.
right?
Okay.
The master plan?
Yeah, that just pushes back
Got
the
it,
completion of the master plan, which is fine. The HOP grant
No,
doesn't.
no, I'm just saying, we don't have to have it done with the zoning. It's
No,
not-
no,
No, I know, you want the zoning done is more important right now.
No, I'm
Yeah.
not saying pushing it off. I'm just saying we don't
No,
have
but
to.
it is an option. If you guys are feeling overwhelmed by zoning changes, the HOP grant doesn't need to be finished until July.
Oh, okay, okay, that
So.
might be better. We do have to get this done.
Yeah.
Now, okay, the other thing that I had
I
on-
wanted to,
Oh,
but Tim had to step out for a minute. I don't think they had the public hearing on prime wetlands. I think that was supposed to be last week, maybe. Do you know anything about that, Bill?
Well, he can probably talk to it better. From what I understand, if I could be wrong, I think there was something that they didn't have completed in time, so they had to continue it.
Oh, okay,
So it's continued, I believe, to that next meeting. I
Okay.
don't believe it was posted in time.
okay,
Yeah, I think it was a noticing requirement.
Yeah.
okay. So now, I know they're going to bring that to the Board of Selectmen. But does that fall under zoning amendments on the ballot?
I don't know.
Yeah, so I don't,
I would think it would have to go on the ballot, I would think, right?
yeah, but I mean, does that like stay in, like how
Yeah,
zoning is separate?
right.
I didn't know where that fell into it.
That's a good question. I don't know. I haven't thought about it.
Because it's something that we would follow.
Yeah, you would, I would think it would fall into zoning.
Yeah.
That's my gut.
Yeah, that's what I think too.
You know, I'm sure someone will have the right answer, but
Yeah,
I agree. I think that's where it seems where it should be.
yeah. Because that would be another one we're gonna have to add.
Right.
Dun, 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 dun.
Wait, are we adding another one?
Well,
We don't know
prime wetlands, I mean,
Oh, yeah.
where that would fall on the ballot.
where, would that
Yes.
go under zoning amendments?
Is it just a map?
I don't think so.
It's a new prime wetland designation.
Right.
Yeah,
So-
it's new. It's something that the town has to vote on.
Yeah,
to
I'm pretty sure it's just a
accept.
map, though.
It's just a map.
That's what I thought.
Hopefully Tim will know.
Yeah.
We'll wait for the
Speaking
elevator.
of maps, you said that you had a few more questions about the build out. So Rob said he could come to the next meeting.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah,
Is the man of the hour.
yeah.
Come with your questions.
Of course, we have a question for him.
When he's not here.
Yeah.
Always.
Hurry up, Tim, hurry up.
Oh, stop it. No, you don't. Hurry up. Okay, I'm gonna give that one to her. All right.
I had a prime wetland question about, you have to continue your public hearing?
Yeah.
Okay. And when that will appear on the ballot, right?
Yeah.
Does that go with, like, the warrant articles where the selectmen are, or does
Yes.
that go under zoning?
With the selectmen.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, that's all I want to know, because I didn't want to have to add it to my list of amendments.
We're just thinking of it that way, it's probably better, right?
Yeah, up front,
Yeah.
yeah.
Next.
Okay, so I did have one more thing before we do this bond reduction request from Palmer Woods.
I didn't see it.
See it?
Yeah, I don't, because I didn't see it. I was just been looking for it.
Yeah, I figured maybe it was just something we didn't need something for, but no. Okay, so we don't do that.
So strike that.
Yep. Well, then the only other thing I was going to do under that is I would like to suggest a meeting, December 6th, maybe even before our meeting here, a special meeting with the zone officer, building inspector, and engineer. We keep putting this off, and I want some answers, and I definitely want to discuss this, what's been going on, and some of the decisions being made, want to know why, and I just think we need this discussion. And we keep saying, we're going to get them together, we're going to get them together, we're going to get them together. Well, we are going to now, if we can. Is it all right to maybe have a meeting like half an hour before our regular meeting? Because it wouldn't be on TV, okay? Right? December 6th?
So what are you looking for, non-public?
Yes, I'm looking for a non-public meeting that we could hold before we come in here to our public meeting. Is that possible to do it that way?
I mean, you can have it non-public, but
And you want that not to be part of,
Not to be part of the meeting, December 6th, right, just before it.
We would just go into non-public and then come out of non-public.
right, that's how you would have to do it. I'm trying to think if you may have to run that by the town manager.
I think so.
Yeah, I don't see that as a legitimate reason for non-public.
Well, I think the people that we're asking, I think that pretty much does say it, we do need it. I mean, we
Well,
haven't
I think,
even-
I think, yeah, I think,
I mean,
well,
the building inspector.
well, part of the question, at least that's, what what we're talking about, is that
Yep.
we're on the site plans, like on the conditions for site plans and such, or pre-construction, whatever, it says that, X, Y, and Z needs to be done, and the code enforcement officer will be the person that enforces it.
Yeah.
And that's fine. But there might be a little confusion as to,
Who's supposed
I
to-
don't think anyone's doing that. that maybe, the current code enforcement officer / building inspector might not be, it might not be within the scope or of what his job is, or at least what he thinks it is.
Well, when it comes to his position, you gotta go through the town manager. The town manager is in charge of that position.
Well, we can invite him to the
Well,
meeting
if,
then, too.
if there's,
I'm just saying.
if there's a site plan requirement that requires code enforcement to verify that
Should be
something's
doing it.
being done or not done. All right, and if you were to then say that, we need to verify that's being done, that there might be a disconnect as to, it might not be getting done.
Right, but you have to go through the town manager.
Who has to go through the town manager?
No, I can ask for it as
Yeah.
vice chair of the planning board.
Yeah, well, it should probably be Tom to do it, but,
But that's why I'm gonna have to
If
talk
Tom's
to
not here.
Tom, but if Tom's not gonna do it, I'm doing it.
yeah, but you've got to remember, it's he reports into the town manager.
Oh, Tom
That
does all the
position.
time?
No,
Oh.
not Tom. The position we're talking about reports
Oh.
into the town manager.
Okay.
I guess what I'm saying is that we're just concerned that the stuff is being annotated on plans, and there might not be a sense that that's,
Right, so it should be,
Okay.
that's who it should be addressed to, is the
Okay.
town manager.
So we'll invite him too,
what's that?
to that meeting before, right? Can we do that too? I mean, if he wants to come, he's more than welcome,
Yeah, but that's where you would
but I
start.
have to go to him now. Okay, first. All right. I was just gonna send a letter.
Yeah.
I can't do that. Okay. All right. Okay, no, I'll.
No, it's almost
down.
like, town employees, I can't go to a town employee, it's gotta go through the town manager.
Okay, all right. No, I will be sure to call him. His name is Greg, I know that much, but what else is his last name? What's his last name?
Colby.
Colby. Okay, but if he does okay it, and we do have that, does anybody have rather than another night out, to do it just half an hour like before, if we can?
Night out is nothing to me. I'm out every night anyway, so.
I'm trying to make it the same night, so you wouldn't be doing it.
I have more nights out than
Right.
most people.
Yeah, no, I'm
So-
sure
so if
you
I-
do.
So if
I'm
I
sure
can
you
keep
do.
everything to one night,
And I'm sure
same night.
you do
it's-
too, Richard. You're another one. Okay, so I was trying to make it a little easier, so it was on the night that you'd be here anyway, if we could just do it just before it, so, okay. All right. I get it. Just like a walk-in, see? Yeah. And now, one more thing. Do you know, Tim, what the rule was for, when Process Engineering was there? We had said all trailer trucks or big delivery trucks had to take a left because it would involve going past, where the school comes, when they come in, when they go out, with the church and everything right there in the center of town. They were always making a left turn. Cars could make a right turn.
Yeah.
But trucks were told they had to make a left turn out of the town. Well, lately, I don't know who was in old processing, but I followed 2 times now, 2 big, huge trailer trucks with main license plates coming out of there.
We can't talk about specific applications.
Can't what?
Talk about specific application. Is this a specific application?
No, it's not about an
No, it's just-
application. I want to know where the rule is. They're making a right turn now, even at 3:00. when
Yes.
school was getting out.
So ordinarily, that is a condition of approval, and it's on the site plan review that is registered. So that would be a zoning enforcement issue.
So you have to look
Zoning
up the site
enforcement
plan
issue,
first,
huh?
see what that says.
Huh?
A zoning enforcement issue?
Yeah.
Okay.
So she can call and speak to him about it?
Yeah.
Probably look at the site plan first, right, see what it says.
Make sure you
right?
call the town manager first to see if you can talk to him.
Well, I just wanted to be sure that, because I always thought whoever goes in there, don't they have to follow the same rules? That's all I was very surprised at.
Well, yeah.
I'd say pull up the site plan, see if it says anything on there, the starting point, right?
Okay.
I can't imagine that it doesn't, because that was obviously
That was a
major
big issue.
concern.
Oh, it was definitely a big concern.
I think, Methuen Construction is the main, there's a couple of small,
Right, but now
issues
it's
there.
Methuen Construction, right?
So
Okay. Could be.
for no left turn kind of things, sometimes we just have to remind, a letter from a code enforcement officer maybe
That
to
should
the
do it.
Methuen Construction saying, we've noticed several trucks have been taking left turns,
Okay.
not left turns, they've been taking right turns.
Yeah, they're taking right turns, right.
And, I guess make sure that note's on the site plan first, so we're not.
All right, so I've got to ask for the site plan. Where do I get that?
Well, they actually came in. Don't you remember they came in
Well, yeah, but I.
last summer?
You probably just call Dee and ask her.
Okay, all right,
She'll know
okay.
if it's there or not, I'm pretty sure.
Right, yeah, I could
Probably
just ask
got
her to look it
deleted.
up, probably.
And then from there, you'll know what to do.
Right.
If it's there,
Right?
one thing, if it's not, it's not.
Used to be there. Not there anymore.
I was just curious because I saw it twice and I'm going, no, wait a minute. That was a big, big deal here in town. It really was
Yep.
because of the schools, especially the timing. Kids is bad enough walking around, so, okay. I think that was it for me.
Can I summarize our agenda for next time?
Yep.
Just in case I just make sure I got everything. So 17 Harriman was continued, so we're going to talk about that. And then we are going to talk about changing C2 to MDR. Some
I
retail
can give you this paper. first.
retail definitions based off of your paper. And our JS manager, Rob, is going to come and talk about the build out. And then we're also going to talk about master plan goals.
Okay, that paper, right, okay, because I did have that here.
Master plan goals.
Okay,
Yep. So when you drive around Plastown, you go home every day. Think about goals.
okay. So we really just got to basically now get to the zoning. We really do.
We have to,
We
because,
have no choice on the time, right here. This is the map, right here,
yeah, we're on the time now, so we have to,
Yep.
it's gotta be,
right on it.
it's almost like every meeting that's gotta be brought up until we have it.
Yep.
Because we have to set up the public hearing.
Right. It's, everything's right here. November 13th is the first day to accept petition zoning amendments. So that's, what is that? The citizens, anything citizens do? Is that the one that has to be in November 13th? That's early. That's
Well,
already
it's-
been.
It's the first,
Come and gone.
it's the first day they can do that.
Oh, first day.
Somewhere later in that memo, we'll say the last day.
Oh.
It's like the opening, it's like the opening of hunting season.
But what is the last
It
day?
is hunting season. What?
When is the last day?
Okay, the last day is, sorry, December 13th.
Okay.
So believe it or not, that's coming up pretty quick.
Yeah, it's
Too.
less than a month.
Right. Okay, I am sorry about that. Yes, hunting season has opened up now in New Hampshire and Vermont.
Last year, amendment votes were done on the working session meeting in January. So the
For the
third,
first one, right?
first.
Yes, January
That's when we
4th,
have to
last day
read
to
them
post
all
and
and-
publish
Yeah.
notice, yes, for the public hearing.
So really, our next meeting, we gotta, if, they have to get done, pretty much.
Right,
If there's,
Exactly.
unless there's not much on,
well, the 6th too, December 6th, we still have that one.
right,
You
that's the
can-
next one. That's our next meeting.
You can
Oh,
continue those public hearings,
Yeah.
so it's not,
That's our next meeting is the 6th. We're in December for our next meeting.
right, okay, yep. Time
Right.
just flies by. Okay, so I think we're done.
Close it out. Give it-
Okay, so we're going to close the meeting at 9:15. Okay, sorry, guys.